Roses are red. Violets are blue.
We want to kill a dragon or two.
Yeah, that's great.
I was gonna end it with the DM's gonna kill you.
Nope.
But welcome to Here Be Dragons. My name is Jared Sarton. I am the Dungeon Master. Here across the couch we have Lindsay, Lauren, Nathan, and the hair. Alex. Sorry, the hair.
Oh, you did
Your
get
hair
a
does
haircut.
get a lot of love.
It does. And those lights, they reflect so nicely just
That's
off
right.
the
Boom.
sheen. Even with that head flip, nothing happened. It just
Yeah, it just hit. Nothing moved.
Good gel.
nothing moved.
He has great armor class on his
Perfect.
first head.
Perfect. Just
No
right
helmet
here.
needed.
Absolutely do.
You used to do your hair.
Yeah,
like
I
that,
used to do my
too.
hair like that too. I can't. Well, welcome to our post-Valentine's Day Here Be Dragons episode. Love is in the air,
It is.
I think.
It
No?
is.
Okay. Cool. We're going to quickly kick off a
So
few
there.
things before we dive into the story. As always, we have wonderful support from everyone watching and a few sponsors: Blacksmith Craft Dice, Critical Treasures, and Caffeinated Kobold. Keep an eye out on our social because we're going to be doing some giveaways in the near term.
Free stuff.
Free stuff, caffeine.
Free.
Coffee. Coffee will be in the giveaways.
It's good coffee.
It's good coffee. And a bunch of other things, but they will be coming up in the next handful of weeks. One thing to note when I say the next handful of weeks,
Okay.
we are usually first and third Saturdays, but next month we're a little different. We're on the second and fourth. So I believe the first day is the 14th. So the second Saturday of the month is our next show. If you haven't already, you can play around with the bot. No, buy coffee. You can play around with the bot in chat. You can do a lot of rolling. Last session, that was awesome to see all of you dive in and roll against each other and cause fights and acid splashes and various other things. I think we all died 6 times over. But,
I know I did.
yeah, very low armor class.
Yep.
Sorry,
Wizard.
wizard. I think that's it for my announcements. Couch, do you have anything? Are we good? We ready to kill dragons?
Guys, I fixed my fridge today.
Scroll
right,
update.
that's more
Oh
important.
yes,
That's more important.
He did fix the fridge.
He fixed the fridge
By
like
myself,
a real man.
I mean, you helped.
Fought the fridge dragon.
It was a mimic.
Yep.
Yes, the scroll update. Thank you. I knew there was something I was forgetting. So you'll see below our video, our little tip box has changed. It's still very wordy, but it does different things. So if you do give us a tip while we're playing, the $5 is still that mild magic scrolls. Something mildly interesting and sometimes off-putting will happen, like, good berries or something sprouts up next to the dragon. He eats them and kills you all. Whatever.
No.
Or various other little twists and curves to the game. That's drawn randomly. At the $10 level, you get to let us know who gets a reroll on the couch or in the DM chair. And then at the $20 level, a challenger approaches.
Dun, dun, dun.
I got a pile of challengers here, and if you have something super creative that I can work with, you can always suggest one. But I've got challengers here that may be for the good of the players or ready to splatter the players.
That's cool.
Bring it on.
That challenger will stick around and be DM controlled until it's killed or gets through one battle. So if it starts up before a battle, it'll hang out with you guys or try to kill you, depending on which one it is. Other than that, we still have the hype boss, which is below me here. You can take down the hype boss by subscribing, following, bit donating, tipping,
Song and dance.
song and dance. We'll let that count. But any of those ways that you interact with our channel, you're able to take that health bar down, and when you become the new hype boss, you get to give a free Nat 20 reroll, meaning
Came in handy last week.
you just
did.
that player just gets to use Nat 20, or that DM gets to use a Nat 20 instead of rolling a D20.
No.
No.
It was given to him before.
It was
It
given
was,
to me before.
Not again.
And look, but
It was
let's
a cruel,
share it with
cruel
everyone.
world.
He
And
got it once. I got it once.
that's how we lost
haven't
Austin.
Alex hasn't had it recently.
Recently,
Ever?
recently, ever. Yeah, we can
Today.
give it. We can give it to Alex maybe, but we'll see. Cool. Other than that, how's your week? I'm not talking to you guys. I'm talking
Oh,
That'll
talking
be-
to them. Hey, yeah, how was your
Nah.
week, guys?
Yeah. Cool.
Everyone doing good?
Let me get to the right screens
And
here.
doing well.
But really, we should be doing good. You know?
But I hope that in their doing good that they're also doing well.
well. Yeah.
And this
Grammar.
has become now a philosophical and English major discussion about doing good and well. All right, players. Are you ready?
Shadow Reels did a song and dance for us, just so you know. She did the Nat 20 dance and said,
Oh.
roses are red, violets are blue. This show is my fave. Please say it's your too.
Woo!
It is.
It's great.
It's
But
all
I'm
right.
biased.
It's all right.
Jared's like, it's not my favorite, but I'm here.
I've seen better. One more thing. Twitch Prime.
Twitch Prime.
I think we talked about it already this month, but you get it free once a month if you have Amazon Prime and you link your Twitch and Amazon. Not only can you give a free subscription to people, but there's free games and add-ons and all sorts of stuff they give you if you're a gamer. Take a look at that. Give your free subscription away monthly to your favorite streams. I think I just gave mine to watching paint dry. It's a really cool stream. They paint the wall and you just get to watch.
They had a nice sea foam this last
Yeah,
week.
very nice
Oh,
seafoam.
that was great.
7 hours of fun. Cool. Now into the story. I think we left as you all were walking out of the Stumble On Inn
Mm-hmm.
into a bustling street as it is dusk and there's a party just up the road. To the north, the mansion has what we would know as fireworks exploding in various colors up into the air. But they're not just any firework. Images of dragons and hearts and roses and stars are appearing, and they're very much controlled and animated, and they don't just fall out of the sky. They do battle or crash into each other and turn into something more fantastical. The children are running across the street going ooh ah, and then turning and using their little trick wands, shooting very similar small sparks and dragons and things at one another. As you are making your way up the street, you do see that around the fountain there's a bunch of different blankets set out. There's a few young couples on dates. There's families unpacking their dinner and getting situated to watch the light show. You do notice that some of the families are a little bit more segregated from the upper part of the city and the lower part of the city, but the children, they don't care, and they're running through the crowd and having so much fun. Music is playing off to the side. There's a bunch of random little carts of baked goods and treats. This is a festival that they have been preparing for. Players, now that you're strolling to the mansion, what is it that you'd like to do?
Get to that party, go!
Garth is contemplating if he needs to bring a croissant in with him, just in case anything goes down. But no, they'll probably
I
have
would
food at the
choose.
party.
I would choose a harder baguette.
No matter what, it does 3d8s.
Marshmallows. Marshmallows are what you're going to murder somebody with.
A down pillow.
Oh.
Give me Linus, I'll get you 20.
I'll get you 20. One of them shaped like a small goblin creature, but whatever.
So as we're making our way, I'm gonna kind of reach out to the three of you. Let's take a moment. So something my trainer in my sword fighting class growing up always taught me, my mentor, was that he told me I'm not the strongest, but I need people around me to bring me back up when I fall. And so who is the most trustworthy of...
Oh, I thought you were not strongest, because that'd be me.
Okay.
Carry on.
The two most trustworthy people here.
May still be me.
I like to think I'm trustworthy.
Nose goes, apparently.
Okay. So then I'm gonna...
not untrustworthy, but I'm not the most trustworthy.
You see me pull out 2 healing potions.
Well,
One for each of you.
Man, you are magical.
Siri
You
command.
are magical.
you Siri.
I have a magical voice command. It's called Dear Siri. 1 potion to each of you. These should only be used for me if I fall down. Most trustworthy.
Like,
Bring me
literally
back up.
fall down, or
No,
if,
like,
your health goes?
If things get
If
a
he-
little dicey and I get
Not if you just trip.
Slicey.
no.
Okay.
Should
Don't
I
waste
hold?
time.
Should I hold on to both of them? Because I feel like I understand what you're
no.
talking about more than she
If,
does.
if you get taken down somewhere else, I want to
True.
have somebody who has one.
True.
So I always have two. That's what I was always taught. So
I pull out just like a
Okay.
piece of chalk really quick, and I put LD on the cork to know that this one's his.
perfect.
Here,
Perfect.
you have the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. It's just something I always do.
Something I always do.
I
Find a friend, give him a health potion.
Stick it in my dress somewhere.
Sorry.
You stick it in your dress somewhere. Okay. Cool. We'll
She goes like this.
Healing potion.
there you go.
Thank you. You see Jacqueline slightly embarrassed, realizing that might have been rude.
All right. Well, yes. I think we're all prepared. And do I need to say out loud that we probably shouldn't try to fight things at the party? Do I need to say that out loud? I did anyway.
You also don't want us hurting libraries, but
The one time I used fire in a library, there was a mimic, and it was totally under control.
I'm just saying.
It was totally under control.
There's obviously exceptions to every rule. That's all.
Well, look, there is an exception. I'm just saying, like, let's not go in there with the idea of, I want to hurt people.
Well, we don't.
What?
I don't wanna hurt people.
usually.
Okay, I'm
what's
just saying.
I just wanna
this
see
is a
justice
fancy
done.
party.
What's a mimic?
Oh,
What's a mimic?
It's
what
a-
else is-
It's kind of like a
It's a thing that pretends to be other things, and
Yes.
it's mean.
shapeshifter.
What if
Yeah.
someone takes the last slice of cake? Can I fight them?
Probably not.
Okay.
Lawful good would say no.
Lawful good would say no.
Well,
Nathan
good thing I'm
would say
neutral.
different.
Hangry
Valari would
person.
say yes.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough. I think we're on the same page.
Just see how it.
Mhm.
Situation.
Well then, and remember, if you see the Duke or the Dragon Trainer, these are people we already know, but we could probably use more information from, as well as from Celeste Commando herself. Am I saying that right?
Calmanto.
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 Calmanto. Wow, I spelled it totally wrong in my notes.
All good. You only hear these names.
I said we don't know as long as you know what it is.
As long as you pronounce it halfway
Phonetically.
similar.
And so I start walking.
Party time.
Where do you start walking to? I was waiting for the rest of that sentence. I start walking.
Towards the party house.
Perfect. Yeah, there.
Beautiful house.
The mansion to the north. All right. As you're passing through, there's a lot of other finely dressed people walking the same direction. A small carriage pulls up about 30 feet ahead of you, which is still a few paces from the front gates. You see a bit of a flowing dress come down from the other side, and you hear a door close, and off the little carriage goes. And a very beautifully dressed woman walks in with 3 guard around her, and the guards at the front don't even say a thing. They stand up in attention, and in that group goes, while they're stopping others and talking briefly to them, looking at the little placards and postcards that say that they're able to enter. You're only about 2 or 3 people away from the gate, as there's a very small line to get in. You overhear one of the guards. So, where's your invitation? And the young man is patting down every spot. He goes, I don't have one, but I'm with her. And the young woman hands over her invitation and shakes her head and goes, I told you, double check it. Make sure you have it in your pocket somewhere. And the guards let her through, and he just is left out. And she goes, I'll save you some food, and just carries on. And the young man puts his head down and starts walking off. Oh, I've got to go back to the hotel. Oh, man. And he just heads down the road.
Really quick before he heads
Mhm.
out, I'm just gonna make sure. Nah, not worth it.
Not worth it.
Not worth it to prestidigitate an invitation.
I knew that's where you were going.
All right. You all are up next. Invitations
Right here.
+1, +1, +1,
Looking
Whoa.
less important because we don't have guards.
Who are you with?
Sorry, do you want to tell them? We were with her, but once he started patting, like, we were checking our pockets and you let her through.
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, okay. You didn't remind him to bring his, too.
Well, we were staying at different locations.
I
Alright.
didn't tell him.
Alright.
Dude, this is awkward. Sorry, Dennis. He's gone.
It looks like you're all set. Miss, in your bag, you don't happen to have any incendiaries or anything that could, go off.
No?
Alright. I'm just looking up at the sky. We don't want an errant spark to
yes.
blow us sky high. Also, that thing, and he points down to the pup at your feet. He'll either need to, board up over here, and he points just down the way where you see a handful of cages stacked and a bunch of little animals sitting in them and a guard pacing back and forth. Or he'll have to, go back home.
Oh, is this not like all the fancy parties in the other towns where the women have small puppies in their bags?
That one's a little bit bigger than a small puppy. They're only about yay big, and he holds out his hand and kind of gestures like you could put the small puppy in your hand. But if you need,
It
Don't-
helps her regulate her emotions.
Yes, it's an emotional support animal.
The
I don't think you can
physician-
turn that away.
we'll.
So that wild magic doesn't flare.
In that case, there's a small child that direction. Just tell him the guard sent you, and you'll know what to do.
Okay.
And he kind of turns you away from the gate, and he pointed down the opposite direction, kind of back off to the east, and you see there's a kid just sitting about 50, 60 feet out, kind of looking around, playing with something small in his hands, and he seems to be all alone.
So we're not in the party.
You're not in the party yet, unless she wants to let her doggo go.
I guess I'm gonna figure out what this kid thing is all about.
All right? So as you approach the kid, you see he's playing with a tiny displacer kitten, but it's much smaller than a normal displacer kitten should be. It's kind of zapping back and forth and all over in front of him, bouncing on something on the ground. And then back against the wall, he's got a couple very small cages, and inside you see really tiny creatures. You see another blink puppy, but much, much smaller, and another displacer kitten, and then he's got a few long, like, waist belts just kind of draped over the crates there. He looks up and looks over at your dog, and he goes,
Oh, I like puppies. What's his name?
Astro?
Astro. Oh, cool. You here to get another one?
No, the guard sent me over.
Oh, the guard sent you over, huh? Huh. So you wanna get Astro into the party? He's not like the pocket pups. I got something for you.
he walks over and he grabs one of the belts.
Does Astro like red, green, or blue?
Blue.
Blue. Okay. This is a pretty blue one. It's kind of like his eyes.
He brings this big belt over, and he crouches down and walks up to Astro and gently, like, puts it on like a big collar, but the instant that he kind of clasps it together around Astro, it shrinks down to his neck, and then Astro and the collar shrink down to half size, so he is now about yay big, and he is an eighth of his weight, so he's about 4 pounds.
I pick him up, and then
He bounces in your hands and kind of looks around at the world that's now much bigger, and the kid looks up to you and goes,
Since the guard sent you, it'll only cost you 2 gold, not the 250 they usually cost.
I like pull out the 2 gold and like hand it to him.
and he grabs it.
Thank you. As soon as it comes off, he'll get his normal size, but the belt will still work.
you have just gotten a belt of imbued reduce.
You guys have no
Can
idea
we
what
use
this
that if we
means.
eat too much at the party?
So I have him. I have Astro, and I walk back over to them, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready.
Well, that was fast.
The guard looks at you and
Tiny
looks
Astro.
at the dog and gives him a little scratch as you carry him past. Oh, blue's a good color for him. Enjoy the party.
As we're walking up, I just say, that was the strangest interaction I've ever seen in my entire life.
Which one?
The boy with all the small animals.
At least your
It's
coat's
just
not dirty.
strange. It's
That
true.
was the strangest
I
thing
was
you've ever
stepping back.
seen?
Yeah.
Do you get
Oh,
out much?
man.
It's just everything about the city's strange to me.
What is the color of what?
Imbued reduce.
That's it.
You can look up reduce. It is a spell.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
I think
And-
I'm just writing.
Garth may go pretend he has a puppy too.
Psst, give me your dog.
Does he need to be smaller?
No, I mean, yeah, I have ideas, but that's okay. I'm gonna keep them to myself.
Anyways.
Party
Anyway,
time!
You already divulged, and I already knew.
I whispered.
I whispered! So, as you enter the party, there's mage hands bustling about as if they were almost an unseen servant. Trays floating through.
But they're not that high of a
They're
level.
not that high of a level, no. They're just a hand.
So
Trays
what happens
floating
when
through.
They disappear? Do they just like float down, like drop it over the hole?
Yeah, but you haven't seen that yet. But
Okay, I was just
they're holding
asking.
trays of food, and they come to hovering stops in front of each of you. Various delicacies, sweet treats, salty
Yum.
treats, meats,
Pigs in a
vegetables,
blanket.
apparently small, reduced
Pigs get cold?
No, the blanket is a flaky crust that they put around the tiny sausage.
Why would
Try
you
one.
want a tiny sausage when you could just have a...
Try it. That's why.
Okay.
The hand suddenly floats up just a little bit as if it wasn't expecting someone to grab a whole mound of these things, and a couple of the little sausages pop up in the air and are expertly caught. And off it goes. You see dancing up in the courtyard up ahead. The mansion ahead of you has lights strewn about it as if magically placed, but there's no cord or strand. They're all changing colors and showing designs and patterns. A whole 12-piece band is playing, and you can see that they've got instruments from all over, even ones that you haven't encountered. And the musical number they're playing seems to be very tiring to the doggo. But it seems to be a very uplifting beat, and the party is
Bumping.
bumping. You see,
I tip my hat to people as I walk by them in colors and everything.
there you
happening.
go. You get oohs and ahs and some gasps.
Ew.
Thank you. It was.
And what, your bright orange
Hmm?
lapels?
No, I think he had the
Oh,
orange
you had the orange
lapels.
lapels, yes.
I
yes,
just,
you
I
did.
think I got a jacket that matched the hat.
Yes.
Yeah.
You do notice here and there that you see some mages and some bards that are causing all of the light show, and they're nodding to one another and tossing up fireballs and lighting them with explosive power, and they're not the fireball that you'd
Okay.
expect.
I was
But-
like,
but
goodness!
They're scorching all of the children. No, they're tossing up big booming flames that explode into the air into more pictures and stuff that you didn't even see from the outside, and it is a very magically imbued party. What is it you'd like to do as all of this is going on, players?
I've never seen anything so fancy. I'm just taking it in pretty agape. Mouth agape.
I cast Mage Hand, and it does this.
Is it just upstairs people or the downstairs people too?
It's a mix of everyone.
Oh, there is access to the downstairs from here, remember? The home is on both levels.
Double decker.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think, personally, I have no idea. I'm just like, I'm much agape as well. and I just keep like grabbing at random trays that go by. Mushrooms. Yeah. Do you like mushrooms?
As you're staying there agape, portly man that you've helped
Duke?
walks
That's right.
past.
The Duke.
Wrong, that you've helped.
Who have we helped?
Who haven't we helped?
Wait. Is that the guy we got his wand back?
No,
Oh, the
that's
guy
a
you
no.
sold. The guy you sold
Sparky
the
was a no.
chest to.
Oh, him! You mean? Wait for it.
It's good to see faces at the party that I recognize. It's me, Perkins.
Yes.
Good
I was
Perkins.
wearing my
Yes.
business suit before. Today
Yes.
Your
it's
party
my
suit.
my party suit, and you see it's equally as worn.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I barely managed to squeak in, and he's grabbing handfuls of food and popping them in his mouth. These parties are always so nice, and the Perkins family usually has been invited, but this year was invitation in the mail. But
Quite right.
you know, I found a friend who got me a +1.
Ah. Well, it's so glad to see you here, Perkins. How goes business?
All right. They're just trying to close down my shop and all, but we're still selling things as much as we can. We're liquidating as fast as possible. There's big deals. So.
Say what?
Big deals?
We love a sale.
Why
Just
are
love
you
it.
going out of business?
You know, taxes and whatnot. With all this turmoil, the governments here are trying to make sure they're well kept. One would say.
Right. Where could we find your shop if we wanted to come check out said deals?
So, if you head to the west, in the upper city, we're just on the edge of the more slums there. And they're running them all out, one might say.
Who is they? The government?
Basically, they're trying to clean up and
Who do you
Make
see
space.
taking over for the dearly beloved departed king? May he
he
rest
leans
in
back and
peace.
kind of grabs at his jacket. Oh, I would love to have that position, as you know. The son isn't quite fit for it, but
Is he here?
I haven't seen him, but he keeps to himself quite a bit.
Right.
Ooh! And he chases down a mage hand carrying something that looks good to him.
While they were doing this,
Mhm.
I wanted to just stroll into the center. There's a dance floor.
It's not really a dance floor,
there's
but
people dancing?
there's a bunch of people dancing. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna stroll into the center of there and just like see if I know anybody in the area.
You don't recognize anyone, but you do see a bunch of nobility, based on insignias on arms or across the chest. You note that there's some that had served in some military. Insignias are different, so it doesn't seem to be from this one town or area, but maybe from the islands as a whole.
Okay, and then as I'm doing that too, I just want to keep an eye out if I see Lady
Calamanto?
Calmando.
Yeah, as you're looking around, you don't see her. As you recall, from your previous, encounters, she is very veiled, and most everyone is wearing more of a summery dress. So,
Yeah, and so as I'm doing this, I'm kind of like strolling through as if like I'm very used to this. So they're like, oh my gosh, what's this? I'm just like walking, I'm like, oh, this is kind of what I'm used to, and then I'll kind of meander, and then meander back to the group.
so as you're
the
strolling
friendship
through, there's a group that you kind of pass through, and there's a bunch of partner trading, and you get scooped into part of a dance briefly, and then step back out of it as if it was nothing, and it doesn't even break your demeanor, as you actually use that as a moment to get a better glance around the area, and they didn't seem to mind that suddenly a new person entered and exited. You get to see that it appears that there's a few guards at the front of the home, almost setting up like a structure to step up onto and give a speech, but it seems like they're putting stuff around it for potentially added flair, fireworks, etc. and then they're dropping some banners down. And as the banners are unfurling, you see Calmanto written on each, almost as if they're trying to announce her presence and just kind of the name of the town to be hers. It's not like a, hey, it's the Calmanto family, but more like a royal presence.
Okay. So I'll come back and be like, quite the party. And I'll just kind of relay everything you just shared with me to them, like pointing out where they're setting up the stage type thing and some special stuff around it.
How did you do that?
Do what?
The walk, dance, walk thing. How did you do that?
Well, at age 7, I was trained in formal dancing, and then age 9, I learned to be like a courtier, like moving through crowds, meeting people, and then so the combination of the two is kind of something that just comes over time.
Wow.
I could teach you
That's fine. Who are
another
the
time.
Mm-hmm.
You're a princess, right? Princesses need to do such things.
It might have been a fiction book. It's fine.
I didn't think it was true. I was just throwing it out there.
That was true. It was the book of her life.
It was a ghost book, though. Ghosts are known for not being trustworthy.
Well, that's true.
Have you met many ghosts?
No. Is the Duke here?
Oh, we should look for the Duke. Duke.
The
Hefton? Hexton?
Hefton.
You have not seen Duke Hefton yet.
Because I do find it interesting, do you not, that in a city run by a king, the person's visage on the coins, the gold coin in particular, is that of the Duke.
Is that the face?
Yes.
Cool.
You know how you flip a coin, heads or tails? His head?
His tail's on. Oh.
His head is on the face of the coin.
Have you checked the other side?
I checked the other side.
His face is on there too.
It's on both sides.
That's confusing. How do you. Anyways.
Oh yeah, how do you flip
Why
it?
would somebody put their tail on a coin?
Why would you flip a coin?
I like.
There's just heads on both sides.
Always?
Yes.
Not where I come from.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Joke's on them. I don't have a
Interesting.
tail.
Well, never mind.
Sorry, that was insensitive.
Oh.
I know. I was just sitting here this whole time like. what?
Valari, your pocket watch buzzes.
Oh no!
I wasn't angry. I was just like, but okay.
She was like, "Girl,
What do I see?
please." Your pocket watch
What do I
buzzes.
see?
Wait, isn't there something about the
swirls-
mirror?
It swirls a bunch
Oh, I
of
have to
different
roll.
things.
Do I have to roll?
No, it
Swirls.
swirls a bunch of different things, and then a little frowny face pops up as if it senses your mild distaste.
That was rude. I'm sorry. I'm still getting used to. Okay. Duke.
A
Well, I
young-
haven't.
as you say, Duke, a young man leans out and goes, yes?
Lord Drackland.
Oh,
Nice to meet you.
Duke Merryweather.
Merryweather.
I think there's going to be a lot of dukes here.
Merryweather?
Is that your title or your name?
It's my name.
No, that's a
I'm
cool
actually
name.
Duke Merryweather, but,
Duke.
Duke.
Double Duke.
What race is Duke Merryweather?
Duke
Human?
Merryweather is a human. Correct.
Could it be worse? Your last name could be Goose. Duke Goose.
That would be a silly name.
It's like the game that the children played. Did no one get that one? Duck Goose.
No,
Must be a
no,
sit in a
circle.
they played Duke Goose, where I came from.
Oh, did they?
Yes, and it was all to make fun of me. But, hi, I'm new to the area.
Us too.
Oh, cool. Oh, so you might not be able to answer these things. But do you know the king, or the other king, or the king's
Well-
son, or
So the one king is dead. The other king is really sick. The sun doesn't come out
Dead,
much.
sick,
I mean, the sun
gone.
comes up, but it doesn't. He doesn't come.
S-O-N.
out.
dead, sick, gone?
Dead, sick, and hiding.
Okay. Well,
Are you another contender?
and you're not.
No.
I think she might
Perfect. Then, you two contenders? I know you're definitely a contender, sir.
Absolutely
But,
not.
Well,
I'm lying.
oh yeah, of course.
But I want to deceive him to think so that he'll tell me his secrets.
He looks around and goes, well, then, if you want to be my first 4 votes, then hopefully I'll be
They
the
do
new
it
king.
democratically. I like
What
that.
could you share some information in exchange?
Yeah,
for
what
for our
will you
loyalty?
bring to this town? What
I-
advances?
How do you feel about taxes? Will you cover my doctor's visits?
The shop's on the west side. Are you going to continue clearing them out?
He starts to back away and then turns.
What about
Oh,
higher education?
princess! And off he goes.
Princess?
What?
You see
Not
that
me.
you
He's
see
gonna
follow him.
you
I
see
wanna
that
know who the
as he
princess
steps
is.
over, he like ducks behind somewhere and grabs a tray and puts it up over his head and like, walks off.
Duke Merriweather!
You gotta be careful before you start campaigning.
And he kind of goes off into the crowd with crumbs on his shoulder now.
I have a question. Something that's I've been curious about since you showed me that strange tent thing you have
Yes, of course.
with the people. Are they people inside?
Pillow people.
Okay.
people.
Pillow pals.
Are they able to come out here?
No.
Not to my
Like if we
knowledge.
wanted them to be like our guards to make us look powerful.
Do you
I think
really
they
think a
only-
pillow?
I didn't get a good look at them.
I
They're
think
they're
They were
all
made of
pillows.
pillows.
they only exist within.
There was a pillow horse once.
And they're not always pillow people.
I gotta say, I'm imagining Big Hero 6 at this moment. You're just like shoving pillows into a suit of
It
armor.
really help just going through the crowds.
I could have dressed up like a guard. Why am I in this dress?
'Cause
Yeah,
you
that
let
would've
them
helped.
Put you in a dress.
You
Or
could have looked
planning.
like a bodyguard.
You would have had your armor too.
Hindsight. 2020, you know what I mean?
No.
That's how you measure sight. I've studied it. It's okay.
But you only have 2 eyes.
Right, but it's how you see the distances at 20. Never mind. Look! We're still looking for Duke Hefton. So don't say Duke, say Hefton.
Hefton?
I start backing away slightly, knowing this is like not
No.
party etiquette.
No response, but it is a fairly loud party. There's conversations and dancing.
We
And
might have to move around.
I walk like 10 feet forward. Hefton!
It can be debated if we are still in the doorway.
you are a little.
We have walked
You
through.
grabbed
We
some
walked
food.
I went through like a round.
You went through, but I
dance,
didn't know if you
know.
had to double back because
I
we
did
were all
double
just
back
like,
a little. I did double back a little.
A little.
And your spawn's 10 feet out.
No.
I go another 10
You
feet.
you get odd looks as the response, and a few people kind of back away, as if they see you in a party dress, but it looks like you're yelling at maybe an SO who's gone off and fallen into the bar or something. Hefton! Hefton!
Oh yes, say it endearingly.
Why don't I try to do something? What
This
we're
is
looking
more-
for Hefton.
Mm-hmm.
Duke. Health.
Okay.
Hefton.
I will be back.
Duke Hefton.
I'll be back in
You
a few
scan out
minutes.
of the punch.
Let me just do a round and see if I can get some information.
Cool.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna do similar to before of like instead of dancing and like that though, like trying to find the most important looking people and just say, oh, have you seen the Duke? It's so good to see you. Nice to meet you. I'm Lord Dracula. And then kind of moving, and then if they don't know, like move along
Yeah.
and kind of do like a 5-minute shuffle through. Like I'm very familiar with a party like this and knowing how to find the right people.
Yeah, you do see there's a section that looks kind of like a small bar that there's a few very well sought out medals on a few arms, very, very big gold medallions, showing that they either have high rank or regard in their cities. You encounter a few of them. Most people aren't fairly aware. You do find out that a lot of the people here at the party are either from different islands or from the mainland that took them multiple days of travel to get here. You do find out that a couple people had chartered a few portals from the mainland, and they had some very interesting turbulence in the portals. Instead of just an instant there, they ended up showing up miles from town sick and had to end up walking in. But nothing about the Duke. Most people are very highly confused as to what is going on in the area. They were invited as the throne was becoming open and they wanted to expand their kingdoms.
Okay. And then I'll shovel back, and then I'll share all that with the group.
While he goes about, before he doubles back,
Yep. As you all are in your 5-ish minute lot.
5-ish minutes. I would like. Well, I don't really know what else there's to do. We've talked to Perkins. I'm looking for Duke Hefton.
Valari, you feel a small bump up against your foot, and you see that it's Astro tackling a runaway sausage, and he's got it in his little mouth, and he's just gnawing on it, and just going to town on this sausage that is about this big to him. It's more than a meal, and he lets go after a second, sits down, and goes, and licks his lips and stares at the remaining chunk of sausage.
So how big is the sausage to me then?
The sausage is about yay big, so it's something you'd hold in a hand, like more of a meal than just like a little grab, and he's quite small, so he was only able to eat about half of it.
And so he's probably full, right?
He's sitting there just kind of staring at it, a little weary-eyed at the moment.
So Huh?
You can eat the other half.
No, I'm gonna save it for him, you weirdo. And so what if I do?
So what if I do?
I grew up on the streets. This
I
is
mean,
actually good street meat.
Yeah.
It's nice when only one dog is looked at.
I pick him up, and is he holding the sausage or?
No, he's
Oh,
let it
okay.
go. He's
So
not into it and he's
pick
done.
it up too, and I put it somewhere.
He wags his little tail and a sparkle of blue goes down his fur.
And then scratch his head.
I try to find the woman who is talking the most.
You try to
We
find
already
the woman
have the
who's
man who's talking
talking
the most.
the most. Okay.
Well, what I'm
Are
trying,
you trying to find
like,
someone who's just like blabbering away, or someone who's like moving about and talking to the most people, or like what kind of
blabbering
talking
away,
the most?
like just seems.
He's
Maybe
looking for the
they've-
party gossip.
Maybe they've already,
Party
they've already
gossip.
had a couple
Okay.
drinks and they're willing to share more than usual.
So, opposite of the direction that Draculin went, there is
Mhm.
yet another little drink station,
Mhm.
and you get up there and you notice that there's a few more of these scattered throughout. There is a older woman who is probably almost done with her first bottle of wine,
Oh my!
and she's just going on, "Oh, let me tell you of all the stories we've had here, and this mansion was once in my family, and then it was in his family over there, and then it went to his, and then it's been passed around, but the Calmonto family is just, they're strange, but they're taking care of the grounds, and I hear there's a passageway inside to get down to the underworld area, and you know, I've never been down there myself, it's too dirty, but, you know, Father always said it has its perks. I don't know what he means by that, but he'd come back drunk some nights. Maybe he had a few of the drinks down there." She's looking around, and most people are like mildly engaging and moving off, and there's a constant flow of people coming in and out, and she's not really talking to anyone, just people who are near her.
What would the perks be for being down there?
The perks for being down there?
Or is it just the perks of having the passageway itself?
Oh, the passageway, I mean, if you have business or a home or anything down there, you could travel quickly, but I wouldn't know why anyone would go to a dark, dusty place.
Yes, especially if you have allergies.
Yeah, allergies, fear of spiders, those dreadful things.
I'm afraid we haven't properly been introduced. I myself am Garth Underfoot, and I tip my hat and raise it a little bit.
I am Lady Levant.
Oh, Lady Levant?
Yes.
Is your husband the tailor, or maybe your son?
No, that's my husband's brother. One day he'll do something great with his life, but now he's just a tailor.
Well, he did make this wonderful hat. Did you see what it did?
Gaudy. Very, very gaudy. But that's his style.
I like it. What is it that you happen to do, or your husband, rather?
I do nothing. That's the beauty of my life. I get to go to parties and shop and play with the pets in the house, go for walks. But my husband, on the other hand, as I scroll to his screen, just a second. My husband. He's a count. You know, we travel a bit. I get to see the countryside. But he sweeps me away on vacations. And I go with. He does his duties in the cities we travel to. Bartender, one more. And the bartender kind of looks around and sheepishly like pulls up a glass, and you see him quickly like watch her pour some water in and wait, and then start pouring a little bit of alcohol, and then kind of look around and pour a little more water in and place it in her hand, and she sloshes it and brings it up to her mouth. Oh, this isn't as good as the last, but it'll do. Free drinks.
Free drinks are my favorite drinks.
She leans to talk to you and sloshes right next to you, barely missing.
Well, Lady Lavat, it was a true pleasure discussing things with you. Is your husband lining himself up for the throne? Hopes there at all?
Oh, yes, we'd love to have that pet dragon. And she points up towards the dragon tower. Not thinking anything about the duty, the castle. You can see that she wants more things. And she's kind of leaning up, and she looks over. Oh, that's a nice pup you've got there. I've got 3 myself. They're little hassles, but they're fun. And then she keeps going on about her story and walks off into the crowd, and you can hear her doing her thing.
Well,
the bartender's furiously cleaning up the mess all over that she left.
Lady Lavat, everyone. So at this point, he's probably come back.
At this point, he's meeting up probably to where you guys are, having wandered around, going from the few drink stations, and then meeting to you. The bartender kind of looks around. She's a handful, I tell ya. I mean, we have to stock special for her. It's all the watered down stuff. After she has her first bottle, he lifts up a wine bottle. He goes, "This is her favorite. We keep 3 throughout the party. It's trash. It's so trash. You get so gross the next morning. Hangovers. Ugh." Tosses it into a bin. Hey, can I get you guys any drinks? You good? You good?
I'll have one.
He looks around. Anyone else?
I think I'm good for now.
What is it that you'll have, miss?
You don't have the good stuff, do you?
He reaches down and pulls out a gold-plated wine bottle, pours it. We're supposed to save this for later, but because you got to deal with her mess, here you go.
All right, then.
Don't tell anyone you got that from me because it's my job on the line, but whatever. You all want any of the
Got
good
what
pour?
from
I
you?
mean, well, yes. I mean, if it is the good stuff.
And he pours a few small glasses of a very syrupy, thick red wine, but it's light to the taste and very aromatic.
It's decadent, yet ephemeral. Is that oak? Yes?
He puts the bottle down quick and kind of gives you some weird side eye as he continues to clean.
Yes. Very nice. Very good finish.
Are you finished?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Drackland, you've made your way up as they're engaging in that weird. Oh,
So as I'm walking up and he's taking the drink of it and like turn for a moment to pretend like I'm talking to somebody and then approach after the moment has passed.
all right.
And then I'll relay back the things that I learned about people teleporting in, people getting kind of sick.
Interesting.
No one really knowing what's going on other than an open throne.
No one has heard about the Duke being here. All that.
People from different lands?
Many people who would be the possible suitors for the throne, yes?
Yes. What?
Well, if I were a nefarious type person.
It's a trap.
Exactly.
My first thought too.
One giant trap. Now I'm questioning whether I should have eaten and had everything I have had.
We should look for that passageway.
Yes. Perhaps the passageway to the Undercity would open up some more information.
I'm down.
Just to make sure that not every single person here is in grave danger.
I wonder. I pull out a necklace that I've had.
Mhm.
My grandpa gave this to me. I always just thought it was like an old relic. But now knowing in the book what I know, I wonder if maybe some of the fancy people here might know.
Can I roll a history check, having never seen this necklace before?
Yep.
That is a total of 23.
You recognize that it is a crest. You can't put which ruler it was from or what part of Faerun, but you recall that it was a ruling, almost monarchy-type kingship, not any other crazy, like, warring party-type kingship, but, like, one that kept to themselves, owned a small
blood-type
piece of
thing,
land, like, it was something you saw in your history books, and you can't put your finger on where it was, but you remember that symbol kind of burned bright into your mind, and it was something that you've wanted to explore, but now that you're no longer in Faerun, something that you've kind of shelved.
Yes. That is very interesting. That is a crest. A crest of an old kingdom. A kind kingdom. They kept to themselves, quite small. I do not remember which, nor where they are from, but they, that is a mark of...
Tuck it back in. Well, if we meet anybody else from Faerun who might know, you know.
Would I recognize that as something that only the lineage would have had, or is it just a mark of the location?
It was definitely very well created crest. It wasn't like oh hey, guess what?
Not
this
like
is
a
the location,
knockoff
but
store thing. Yeah.
it was something that might have been worn on a vest or an arm piece, but it wasn't meant to be on a necklace. You saw that there was a crude hole drilled into it, but like otherwise it was something that was probably pinned or fastened in a different way.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, it may come very well in handy. Well, shall we,
So, do we think this could be a trap? Do we think then that the lady of the party will not show up?
Throwing axes for nothing.
I do believe that she may show up. Part of me wonders if it is more along the lines of those who do not fall behind get left behind, essentially.
What?
Those who do not follow...
Fall in line?
Fall in line, get left behind.
Oh.
Kill the people who don't agree with what you're about to do.
Thank you. Okay.
You're welcome.
As you're all talking, another group of people, much in similar size to your party, of all humans, is kind of like clustered nearby, and they're kind of looking around, and one of the girls kind of watches a mage hand float by, and she looks under, like trying to figure out what's going on. They seem to not know so much about all of the magic, and they're just kind of looking around. And they catch eyes with you lot and notice the makeup of the party, and they're just a little stunned. They're all humans, and they're all just like,
I tip my hat.
As your hat lights up, one of the guys nods his head like, that's really cool, and reaches for some food and takes a big bite and spits one piece out and grabs something else and starts stuffing his face like he's never tasted these foods before either. And they just seem oddball and out of place, but they're dressed fine in garments you've not seen before. And you notice as you see that party, as you see this party, that there's a few other parties similar to them, like garments you've not seen, small groups, kind of keeping to themselves, but still moving throughout the party.
Interesting. One moment. I go over and I say, hello there.
One of the guys steps forward. Hey, what's going on?
Are you enjoying yourself?
Yeah, I mean, this is the first... This is a weird party.
Yes, from where do you hail?
Earth. So... My friend over here is magical, and, she was showing us some stuff that she learned from a book, and, we opened up a portal, and we fell through it. And we were told that there's a party because this one over here, her dad's really incredibly rich, and she could get a whole kingdom to herself. I don't know where we are. Is this Sweden?
No.
What? Sweden.
What? What? In the...
What is Sweden?
It's a country or a town or something. I'm from a place called California, and
They sure talk funny where you're from.
yeah,
My brain doesn't know what to do with all this.
I felt, man,
Without
I need to figure out where this portal is. I want to just go play my video games.
What?
What's his?
Can you describe what he's wearing?
He's actually wearing a really nice silk suit, but it's of almost a manufactured nature that you've never seen done by hand. And as you look down his nice tie and his pants that match the suit, you get down to the shoes, and they're a bright red fabric with a white rubbery plasticky sole.
And there are other people in this crowd that look similar.
Not like him, but
Okay.
there's other groups that are just
Groups.
like out of place.
Interesting.
There's so much.
What's your
I'll
name?
make this description.
I'm Steve.
All right, Steve. Pleasure to meet you. I'm Garth. Enjoy yourself. I'm sure we'll bump into each other. What?
I'm really freaked out here, dude.
As you should be.
You're short.
Yes.
That's rude.
Don't be insensitive.
It's all right. It happens.
Well-
Halfling.
Midget. Cool.
No.
Oh.
No. Halfling.
Oh. Okay. Sorry. I gotta be PC. Halfling, half person,
that's a midget.
whatever.
No. I'm sorry. Halfling.
Half person, half man, half beast. Are you a centaur?
No.
Are
Is
you a
your hood
centaur?
up?
Are
Do
you
you have hooves?
stupid?
Look at this
Yeah.
guy. Look at this guy.
I might be a little stoned.
Look at him.
Stoned?
You don't look like you're me. I've been stoned before, sir. You are fine.
You've been stoned.
Jessica, we gotta get out of here. These people are weird. Jessica, and you see this girl tapping a glassy object. There's no service here.
There's plenty of
Oh.
service. Look around. There's
kidding?
waiters, there's invisible manservants and mage hands.
You guys see like a dagger form in my hand.
No.
And I'm just like, what is going on? Like, I've been to many parties, and this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
There's
As-
another group that
They
looks
said no fighting.
like huddled up and
We
kind of
promised no
scared,
fighting.
right?
There's a couple others, and they're scattered throughout the party, kind of away from one another. But as
So
you're
you're here by randomness. Right?
as you're dealing with this guy, you do hear a scream back towards the dance floor.
I
Happy
turn.
scream or bad scream?
You hear no, you hear a bad scream.
Bad scream.
Okay.
Because I
Coming
didn't
from-
know if like her favorite song just came on and the beat was about to drop and it's like, woo! You know.
No, Jessica's still trying to get her service.
That's true. Jessica's over here.
Yeah, their group is staying together within a few feet of one another, and they're all wearing odd things that are out of place to you
Yes. Steve, you and Jessica, stay here. And
all. All right, dude.
I turn and look where the scream's coming from.
Back towards
I'll make my way
where
through the
people were
crowd.
dancing, the crowd kind of pulls back a little bit, and you finally found Duke Hefton. He's standing there, clutching his chest, and blood is running through it, and he drops to his knees and lets out a cough and falls face first, and you can see that there's a wound in his back, as if someone stabbed straight through.
Is the knife
That's
there?
very
There's no knife.
Can I want to run
yeah.
forward and
It
try to
would've
use my healer's
put
kit
me
to
straight
stabilize
to
him.
the
Can I
next
tell
one.
if that's possible?
You get to him, and as you are just about to use your healer's kit, you realize it was pierced straight through the heart. It was a very, very clean stab from back to
But
front.
who's to blame?
Do potions heal the heart?
Who's giving love a bad name?
Oh,
You too.
A broken heart?
I.
Love a bad name?
Who did this?
Stab through the heart. Now I get it.
There it
Okay.
is. There it is.
Garth yells, "Seal the doors!"
Before you could even have gotten that out, you see that there's a blue dome forming across and dropping down along the perimeter. The guards are already shuffling around, and you see some of the groups with guards. The guards stiffen up and are standing around the person they're with. A few groups spread out to the sides, and you start seeing that because all of these people don't know one another, there's no safe spot, so they all kind of spread and keep their distance and stare at one another. You see all of the guards who are standing around the VIPs with different armor, different insignia, and they're all kind of looking at one another and keeping an eye throughout the crowd. Things just got real. And the group
Gus is
with...
a little excited.
We can't even have a nice night out.
Could I roll perception to see if I see movement or see anybody suspiciously fleeing?
There's a
Sure.
mystery.
Sure.
There's a mystery to solve.
Sure.
I'm so excited.
No, not really. My passive perception's 14. Do I
Cool.
see anything?
You don't. You
Okay.
actually, from what you do see, you actually
know
feel
10.
that you should have seen something, but there seems to be no assailant nearby for how fresh the fall was.
It's
There's
like
no
he was
bloodied
killed by an
weapon.
invisible
There's
person.
nothing around. The handful of people around where he was stabbed at have all backed away. None of them seem to be incredibly important as to have a guard duty with them, but there's small huddles kind of looking in, and you hear whispers throughout the crowd about, I wonder who did this, what happened?
Did you see anything? I walk up to whoever was closest to him. Did you see anything?
There's a small group that was actually just setting up for the next musical set, and they've got all of their instruments they're carefully placing back into their containers, and one guy looks up and says, "No, the strange thing was, I heard the scream, and I almost saw just the last little spray of blood as if a weapon was removed, but whoever it was quick and silent, and I'm not sure. It was only about 15 feet out." And at this time, some of the guard who have sealed off all of the entrances are moving throughout, and you see that they're both upper city and lower city garb, but now they're forming in ranks together as this seems a very scary, deliberate thing. A couple healers are around the Duke and are unable to revive him, and so
Was
they're
it
covering him up.
was it a masculine? Did it sound like a male scream, a guy scream, or was it?
No, it was a woman, and
Oh, yes, she saw a sword come through his body.
probably, but you don't see anyone specifically covered in blood or sprayed or anything that would have been right in front of him.
Can
And
I?
these musicians are carefully packing up and just kind of looking over their shoulders as if not to be next.
Can I roll an investigation as to the type of weapon?
Sure. You haven't been pushed out of the way. There's no one really getting you back from the Duke.
18.
18. You do look, and as you see, it is a very thin slit. It looks as if it was a very, very, very clean, double-edged sword.
Did the Duke not have any guards near him? With him?
Didn't seem like there was any guards near him. As you saw his wife, they seemed to move about the party, not to worry because they're from this town. But most of the guards you do see that are guarding someone specifically don't have any insignia that matches anything from this town. So the well-guarded are not from here.
Is there a trail of blood leading away from the body, the likes of which may have wound up on the sword and dripped?
No drips, no spray.
No drips, no spray. Double-edged blade, to be sure.
Footprints.
Well, the weirdest part of this is that I was just walking around the party and did not see the Duke. And then the Duke appears in the middle of the party dead.
As you're looking around, you do
With
notice
an
that it looks like he
unidentified
might have
weapon that
come
seems
out
to
of the
just
mansion. He was not too far from the walk path that would have been from the mansion.
Wait, are we outside?
No,
You're
we're
outside.
inside.
You're outside. This is all happening in the courtyard.
Oh!
You haven't entered the mansion yet.
The mansion! I didn't realize we were still in the courtyard.
Sorry.
I thought we went inside. To
No,
the
sorry. I was
party.
explaining that the
inside.
party was all out in the courtyard
It was
earlier.
in the
Sorry.
courtyard.
It was a
Well, I'll
California
be
party.
damned.
Well then.
And now the mental shift of everything that just happened goes
Everything
quickly
was
through
a
your
lie.
brains.
Yep.
Yeah.
That makes much more sense why they were shooting balls of fire.
It seems as if
I thought they were still doing it
this
inside, but I
Me
just
too.
thought it was a grand
The
entryway.
house
can appear
burned
and
down.
disappear.
Well,
command.
let's see.
And somebody was walking around. But he was with us when the scream happened.
Yes, Draculund was
Yeah,
with
but
you
he
when
had
the
also
scream
gotten
happened.
his sword out.
He was threatening the Californian,
I'm just
bro.
saying.
I would like to then. What is the direction most opposite
We don't
where
know this dude that well.
where the
That's all I'm saying.
Hefton was stabbed?
The direction
Is it-
most
is it the
opposite
mansion?
is the mansion. Yeah.
I think we may need to head towards the mansion. I'm sure the guards will be checking the perimeters.
There was only one
Same.
guard with you, and you can see that there was a full unit roaming through. There's a handful up by the stage and already at the front of the mansion to block that off. They were
Block
there
off
were
the mansion.
there was a few people. There was a few guards already up there before. So it seems like that was more of like a ready room or to keep people out of the home, and not like part of the party. So there was already
So
guards
the
up
Duke
there.
came from the mansion, where we can only assume that the lady was, came out into the party, and was then stabbed. The man most directly in line for the throne, as it would seem.
As you're all taking this in, a voice comes almost as if it were over a loudspeaker, but just booms from above.
Like thaumaturgy.
Like thaumaturgy, but in many different areas. And people start looking towards the stage, and you see a well-armed guard. Everyone, we're on lockdown until we find whoever had committed this crime. If you have any information, bring it to the guards here. Lady Camonto is safe, and she is well guarded inside. I suggest you stick with your guards if you have any. If you don't, stay out in the open where you can be seen. We don't want any more murders.
No, none whatsoever.
And as he says murders, there's a few people on the outskirts that scream as if they didn't know what happened. They just thought the party was taking a weird turn.
I'm so excited.
Gasps go across the crowd.
Good night, Shadow Reels.
Good night,
Mystery
Shadow Reels.
Machine Gang.
And feel better. She has a
Ruh-roh,
headache.
Raggy.
Oh.
Rest up.
Yes. Well, I do believe that we will want to look into this as well. I find it odd, these groups of people. For example, Steve and Jessica seem very out of place. I want to look. I want to go up to another one of those groups that's kind of huddled together and looking like probably right now they're wigging out.
Yep. You walk up to a group and they're very heavily cloaked. And as you kind of approach them, you see really long, thin blue fingers come out of some of the garbs and they pull their hood back a little bit. You see 3 eyes and a big set of teeth across. And you hear, and then a gnome steps out.
He says, what is it that you wish to speak to us about? I think.
From where have you come, and how did you get here?
The gnome kind of turns. And there's this weird, there's this weird engagement between the two, and you hear pops and clicks and grunts and hums, and the gnome kind of looks at you and goes, I don't know how to translate all of it.
I'm very good at languages, but this one is just really weird. But okay, so they just said
Valari, can't you comprehend languages? Or is it only written?
I think it's mostly written.
they just said they're from another. They said planet. I think he means plane, but they're from another plane or something.
Mhm.
Where they're on a world full of ice, and they're leaders, and they want to have more space. I think.
I could, but I'd have to touch him.
All right. She doesn't. That's okay. You don't know him that well. Thank you for that information. And did they happen to make it here by portal?
Are you a local then? Most people came here by portal. That's what. If you look around, and he points out a couple other groups of cloaked figures and various other things with a gnome with them.
And they were invited.
They were invited. My team is here to try to translate some of these languages.
Wait, I run back to Steve. Steve,
Yeah?
can I see your invitation?
Oh, dude. I think I made a paper airplane out of it and threw it, but
What?
Brett? And he reaches over and pulls it out of his friend's pocket. This is Brett's invitation. And it says Brett and no last name. And it says from California. And that's all that it really says as far as like distinctions, other than like all of the.
But does it look exactly like the invitation
It
that
looks
I...
like all the other invitations. And then he goes, Brett got a cool one. Mine was just a +1.
How did Brett get this?
In the mail or something. Him and Jessica both got him. Brett's dad owns a football team, and Jessica's dad owns like half the world or something.
Is Jessica's last name Bezos?
I don't know.
Bezos?
What's it to you, man?
Not that I would. Not that Garth would know that at all.
Who are you?
How did you know that the party was here?
Because when we stepped out into this really cool part of southern Norway, we
What's Norway?
were told that the party was just up the street, and
But how did you know to come to Norway?
well, the portal took us to Norway. Usually, we were just able to use the portal to like put things in it and pull things out, like hide stuff in thin
Is
air.
Jessica a witch?
No, like I said, she learned it from a book, and then we
Where is
opened
this
the-
book?
What was this book?
back in L.A.
Where?
L.A.
These are places I have not heard of.
He's weird.
America.
What?
Can I roll an insight check?
Yeah, go for it.
Let's see, where is it? 18. I'm just trying to understand if he's like pulling a prank, if he's just some guy from around here who's like screwing with people.
You want to not believe this guy full well, but there is nothing that screams that this idiot could pull this off.
Wow.
This is weird. What party is this?
Does he look like he has anything valuable on him?
Well, I guess we should go towards the mansion.
He has
We were talking to them, so
a
we
chain
can't do it.
that kind of hooks up to his belt and goes back around to his back pocket.
She's from the 90s.
I saw somebody with one of those
He
the
does
other
have a
day.
very shiny
but wait,
gold
they had a
watch
scarf?
on,
Okay.
and
I
it's
saw somebody
created
wearing one
much
walking the other day.
like most watches that you've seen, except it's more handcrafted. And there's parts where it's like very, very fine that you think to yourself, wow, that would have taken a craftsman
Yes.
ages to make that part. Otherwise, his suit is of a very high quality fabric, and like I said, it seems machined in a way. Something that you're not fairly familiar with.
Not kobolded.
Not kobolded and not gnomified.
Can I smell him?
Sure.
I'm just curious at this point
There's-
because
As you step up to smell him, he
You
whoa,
broke us with this.
Whoa,
Like,
lady, what's
Axe
with the
body spray.
skin and
And the faint smell of marijuana.
Are those horns under there? Whoa, this is cool, dude. Brett, she's got horns. And as you step up and just take a whiff, as he's like chatting to his buddy Brett, you smell a really weird aroma of spices and things, and you also smell a skunkiness, and from his breath, a different type of skunkiness. One might say PBR, but another might say
Dracar Noir.
So, I'm like probably like gagging, I assume. And as I back away, I'm gonna flick my tail since he was being annoying.
smacks
and,
her.
No, like, can it like knock his foot out from under him so it knocks him on his ass?
Do a dexterity check for me.
Text check.
Yeah, that's good. It's a 15.
So you do hook and cause him to stumble, and he almost falls back and catches himself. Bread in a tail! And he's not paying any mind to, like, the death at the party. He's just taking in all of the weird, crazy sights his drunk, stoned Californian bro.
I'm done with them. We need to.
can we
We
go?
need to figure something
Watching
out.
this man
Yeah.
operate at this party is my worst nightmare.
Where are those floaty hands? I need some more food!
Oddly enough, mine too.
I think we need to.
Who screamed? Who heard? Who saw? I'm like just talking to the people around me. Like, who saw what happened?
As you shuffle through the crowd, you do notice that a guard keeps following you because you are one of the few groups that are still moving about. Most have like settled in and sat and are kind of like back to back with their groups, so that way they can keep an eye out. One lady raises her hand and kind of points over when she hears the "who saw," and you see a small dwarf man with a short beard. You can tell he's quite young, and he looks up and, are you gonna ask me more questions? I didn't do it to him.
I know. We just want to find who did.
Well, I would like to know the same too, but all I was doing was I was trying to get the next dance with that beautiful lady over there, and he points to a lady a few groups over, and I passed in front of the Duke, and I saw a blade sticking out of his chest.
You saw the blade?
I saw a blade sticking out of his chest.
Metal, regular blade?
Metal, regular blade, much like ones that I've forged in the past, but
Blades on each side.
yeah, it was
Short sword or long?
It was a short sword, sir. But
Anything unusual about it?
no, it was very finely crafted.
Did you see who was behind him?
No, by the time the sword came back out, whoever it was gone, and it was strange because there was still dancing going on, and all I could do was stare for a second, and then I felt myself scream. It was weird. I felt out of body for a few minutes, but
How close
I'm
is
back.
it to the mansion?
So the mansion, if you look at it from the front, there's the mansion. They had a few steps down, a stage, a few more steps down. The Duke was about 15 feet from the end of those steps, so he had barely made it into the party. And that's where most of the dancing was happening. So the Duke made it almost halfway into the dancing.
When we saw the lady,
Which lady?
Calamanto,
We
earlier,
didn't.
We never saw her.
We saw
She was
When
walking
she went
by.
in. Oh yeah.
Could we see skin, or was it all veils and
It
clothes?
was all veils. You did see a little bit around her eyes. You did notice it was a darker skin.
Okay.
And she stood
But she's not
around.
invisible.
She stood around 5-ish feet.
Okay.
Well, to be invisible, they would have had to cast invisibility after the fact, immediately, because to attack while invisible would reveal oneself. It's what happened with me and the dragon.
Someone brought powerful people from weird places to this party specifically.
As you are moving about and still investigating, a second guard still follows you, keeping an eye close as you're, again, still the only ones wandering about. But you do hear some interesting things. You hear a few people talking. Do you think peace was really attainable? I don't know after this. I don't know. Another group. Did the Dragon Warrior come? Are they here? Are they here? And then another couple guys. Must be a skilled assassin to have concealed the blade and made the kill with no trace. Man. And they're like comparing their little knives with very ornate gold emblazoned on them. And you do see a few more groups. One that says, you hear a few people talking. One lady says, maybe it's the forest people trying to take over the city because they know it's in turmoil. And then finally, you hear something that piques your interest. Did anyone see that oddly masked man moving about? I know there's been masks throughout the party, but he had a ghastly presence about him.
I start looking for a man with a mask.
I still don't think they'll be
You would have
doing
taken it
now.
off by now.
Excuse me. I heard you say something about a masked man.
The two guys who are talking kind of look at each other. One guy looks up and goes, we thought the Ghost Blade was only a myth, but I think that... You think that was it? Yeah, we think it was the Ghost Blade.
What is this blade you're talking about?
You don't know? The Ghost Blade was this myth that was told...
First of all,
as
where are you from?
Here, just outside,
Cool. Okay,
in the
that's great.
farms.
Carry on. There's some weird people here.
Are you talking about Chad and Brett and
Steve.
No, I didn't meet Steve.
Don't.
Oh, they were a hoot.
There's a Chad.
Weird.
They were a hoot. I don't know what farm they're from.
Ghost
but
blade?
yeah. So the Ghost Blade, and the other guy leans in. The Ghost Blade, something Mom used to tell us as we were young boys, and apparently all the other young boys heard. The Ghost Blade roamed town to town and would take out the evil in the town, or cause evil. It depends on who was telling you. Our mother said he took out evil. Another mother said he caused evil.
So the ghost blade isn't just a weapon, it's a person.
The Ghost Blade is an assassin, a skilled assassin that no one ever sees, but they do know that he exists. No. But, excuse my little brother here, he likes to fall on fable and story and myth and legend as fast as he can.
Who was the man? Oh.
Are they humans or?
Yeah, they're two humans. You can see that by the lines on their faces and their knuckles, you can see that they are farmers and they've worked hard. You can also see by what they're wearing that they must own one of the biggest farms outside of town.
So their mother said he was trouble, and the other one said he protected.
Their mother said he protected or took out
Yeah, so
evil.
these two said that the Ghost Blade killed evil, and others said created evil, or helped evil.
Can you tell me what this mask looked like? The person you saw that you were thinking
So
was nefarious?
the mask was sparkly, much like some of those over there and some of those over there, but it covered the whole face. But there was something different about the eyes that peered through. They had this glow about them, almost a fog, but I just thought it was one too many of the special drinks from one of the bars, but this is my first party. I'm so excited to be here, except for this. This is really not cool. But if it's the Ghost Blade, oh man. I've heard so many stories, and the older brother kind of just hits him like, stop. You can see this kid's probably about 21. The older brother looks in his mid-30s.
Thank you.
I look up towards the mansion itself, towards the rooftops, and
Yep.
towards any balconies that I might see there. Do I see anything?
No, you see a few guards on a few of the balconies. You see the guards up around the home. It seems to be on full lockdown and protection. You do notice a couple VIPs are being escorted up into the home as if they're being pulled from the crowd. But every time someone breaks the barrier of guards, they're doing a full frisk, regardless of what you're wearing, if you're servant or if you're of the highest status. And here is a good moment for us to take a brief break.
But there's a
As
mystery to
all of the
solve.
mysteries have panned
It'll still be here in 10
out.
minutes.
Ugh.
So, we're going to take a break. Our music will continue to play. There is a mystery at this party, but as with our party goers, and probably your party goers, we need to get sustenance and relieve ourselves.
Yeah, I'll
Otherwise-
a lot of water.
Otherwise, yeah, they're chugging these
You
big
did
steins
drink
of
a lot
water
of
over here. Their molars are probably floating at this
Okay,
point.
bye, see
but
you in 2 minutes.
bye. So what will happen is the mystery will return.
Okay.
Hopefully we will too.
One of us has died.
Ah!
It's the DM. There's no more mysteries.
Why are you pointing at me?
So we will return with our theme song, and you'll hear that, and you'll be able to come back. You can grab your snacks and pop down back on the couch or the balcony or wherever you're at. We'll see you soon. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Technology's
no.
failed us.
Bye.
What's going on?
Oh, no.
Most of us are back. We are down a member.
No more on the couch.
Perfect. The sleuthiest of them. Oh, you're just sleeping.
Oh, nap
Well.
time. Well, welcome back.
Welcome back, I guess.
Oh, we're back.
We're back. We are back. This is Here Be Dragons. We are solving a, I guess,
Murder.
a murder mystery dinner party thing here. Yeah.
Colonel Mustard with the revolver.
It was in the courtyard. We know that much.
I don't think you heard any Colonel Mustard. I don't think you've had any
Professor
Colonel
Plum?
Mustards. So.
Was
no
there a group of
professors, no.
oddly dressed people all
No.
wearing a very particular color?
A purple, a yellow, a green, a blue?
Yeah.
No.
White.
A French maid.
They said they were from California.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Steve
So,
was a
yeah.
colonel?
Steve was a
Sure.
colonel. Oh.
Oh, not them.
No, I'm not. We're thinking the California.
We are Here Be Dragons. We are solving mysteries. So we do have a mystery machine, and it is called the Internet, and you live there. Thank you for joining us on the Internet in the mystery machine.
We are here, and there do be dragons.
And there do be dragons. Briefly, before we dive in, just reminding, tips do affect the game differently, so take a look below. $5 is the scrolls that you know. $10 is a free reroll to anyone on stream. $20 is a challenger approaches, meaning it could be a good guy, a bad guy, good girl, bad girl, whatever it may be. They
Good
will...
ogre, bad ogre.
Good ogre, bad ogre. We can go through the list, but short of that, they will be controlled by me. They will survive as long as they survive, or through one battle. So if they make it through a battle, they disappear. If you're not in battle, the fun thing about this is they become either your friend or your foe immediately. So, other than that, do work on. It looks like the hype boss below me hasn't hardly been touched. So,
Oh.
Cadence is holding out strong.
so if you want to give a free nat 20 to somebody, like, follow, subscribe,
Mm-hmm.
bring your friends. They'll help tear that health bar down, and then somebody will be the new winner.
And
we'll
stick,
take
no
it.
matter what, stick around and keep earning channel points.
Yeah, channel points.
Those,
You can
which
unlock
get some
emotes.
emojis.
Yeah.
Or the emotes.
Emotes, emojis. I don't know, whatever the kids are calling them these days.
Emotifiers.
Emoticons.
Tic-tackies.
TikTokies.
No,
TikTok bucks. is-
Emoticons, those are the bad guys from Transformers.
Oh, no.
No.
No?
No.
That's DEFCON 6 or something like that.
That's
I
what
don't
it
know.
was, DEFCON 6.
DEFCON 6 is the bad guy.
Death
All right.
emoticon.
So you guys are-
Mystery time.
Mystery time. You are in a mystery. You are at a party. You are moving about a bunch of people who have settled down after a murder had occurred. No one knows how. No one knows who. The how is a blade that has disappeared, and there's some rumors of
Ghost Blade.
Ghost Blade, which sound a little bit more like a child's fable.
Can we double back to the two boys that we were just talking to, the men,
Yep.
the
young
farmers?
man.
I would like to ask them, other than the mask, if they recognized what the person was wearing, clothing-wise.
The young
Tunic.
man. I think he was wearing almost like a guard's uniform or something, but it didn't have any plating. It was definitely military, but I can't place it. I mean, I don't get to see the military much out on the farm, but it didn't look like any of the town guard, like the two following you there. You know you got a tail.
Oh yes.
We've already talked. Oh, right. Sorry. So plate mail, chain mail, dragon scale mail,
No,
snail mail,
There wasn't. It was more of a uniform and not like
not armor.
not armor.
No plating is what he said.
Oh,
Said no armor.
No plates, no cups, no spoons, nothing like that.
Nothing.
but were his tags up to date?
I don't know. Did he register him? I don't know.
Sorry, I had to register my tags today. It's just on the brain. Anyways,
Chad might know more about that if you can find him in the party.
Not going to look. Not going to look. So, I just say, yes, should we? Do you think possibly? I mean,
should we talk to our tail?
yeah, why not? Gentlemen!
So the two guards behind you, one from the upper city and one from the lower city, both approach you as if they knew they weren't being that stealthy.
I pull out the two pieces of paper that the other two guards had given me earlier in the day, and I say, these are the pieces of paper that I got from guards just like you. We've been meaning to come by your establishments. You see, we are the people who saved you all from the dragon earlier today, and now we're trying to save you all from a murderer.
So I guess that's why you're here at the party, is because you did something good in town. But
Yes.
Obviously.
And then the smaller man wearing purple, the lower city.
Mm-hmm.
Is it that you're here to save us, or is it that you caused some of the trouble here? I'm not sure.
I don't cause trouble.
We save your town.
Never.
Why would we? What?
We.
I
ask
haven't seen
trouble.
you here before. I don't think
We're
this
new
guy's
in
seen you here
town.
before.
We just said that. What's
Yeah,
your name?
but don't report me. And he covers up his
I'm not gonna report you.
badge number.
I'm Ari.
She's a princess.
What's your name? I am a princess.
And he's a lord.
You're a princess.
And he's a lord.
What is your name? I am going to report you.
Oh, yes.
I'm
See,
not
now
gonna
you've
give you
done
my
it.
name. My name is. And he leans, as Draco leans in, and he whispers something unintelligible to you. And he's trying to keep it as quiet as possible so he doesn't get reported.
Nice to meet
Can
you.
you cast thaumaturgy on another person?
And then Ari takes 4 points of damage.
ear.
I can't
To her
tell my
ears.
beak from my neck.
What?
Yeah, just throw that really quick as you say your name.
What?
Just drop that really quick.
There's two of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Two of you guards here. So one of you, I expect to go and find somebody in charge, because we are stuck here and we do not want to be stuck here, and we have evidence to report. So go find the person in charge and bring them back to us. And I'm gonna get right up in his face and like do my best to just intimidate him. Like, if you don't do this, like, I'm going to report you. There's going to be major trouble. Or essentially things.
Which guard did you?
The one who was like whispering, like
The short-
kind of
the
like
lower guard.
squeamish and like
Underguard.
looked like
He-
it could be taken advantage of.
He stands up as tall as he can, and he's an inch or two shorter than you. And you do note that in all of his gear that he is a drow of a much lighter skin tone than you. And he stands up and he kind of grins and he goes, "Give me your best." In training, they yelled at me all the time.
No,
He grins.
really, please, we're asking you just to do your job.
The guy who made the announcement over there by the stairs. We're all trapped here just like you. I don't want to be here any more than you do, and I definitely don't want to be stabbed.
Did he just start standing like this, all proud?
Yeah, just like
His
all-
name's right there. I read it.
So this guy, you do see Lemas. Lemass.
Lemas. Well, his name's Lemas, so we'll know for later.
Thank you. Oh, these guards are killing me.
His name's what?
Lemas. Not what you think it is. L-E, not L-A-Y
Thank you,
or
Dennis.
L-E-I
Yeah, but it's
or
still like saying Tarsha.
Lemas. You can call him what you want. And that's why it was
Lemas.
unintelligible.
And he was our tail? I'm sorry.
You had-
Okay.
So, just putting out there, you had a lame ass tail.
Excuse me.
Not you.
The pocket
Okay.
watch buzzes.
The pocket watch buzzes, the whole party explodes. The whole party explodes.
You guys will see in this moment, like, you can tell that Draklin is like, at this moment he goes like, "Give me your worst." Like, Draklin's like, doing his best to like,
Not stab a dude.
You're supposed to do your worst, not your best.
he's
Are
doing
we
his best
sure?
to like hold it together.
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Sure, I
the
cannot interview other
incompetency,
people
the
without
sheer
it.
incompetency is like disturbing to him.
I mean, you do notice as he stands up tall that his rank is very low, so he's newish to
I
the
know.
guards. So
It's very infuriating.
Shall we go talk to the man who made the announcement?
He's just spoken disrespectfully to me.
And we are going to turn our backs.
No, I don't think we are.
Lord Dragon, can I talk to you really quickly?
Sure.
I was about ready to say some words.
The guard.
Started with roll and ends for initiative.
Yep. Yes. Okay. If we are going to solve this mystery, we cannot let mere peasants bother us in such a way. Lemas will be reported to his superiors while we also discuss the need to find the murderer.
I wasn't going to kill him. I think I'm an idiot.
I
I was
know.
simply gonna cast darkness on him and freak him out a little bit.
We can always do that while we walk away.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, well, we should start
Well,
walking
you said
away.
when we're turning our backs on him.
There's work to be done. I start marching off to the guy who made the announcement.
Fine, not this time. We will report him, and if they cannot find a proper punishment, then we will do what we have to do.
The better time to cast darkness on him is when he's trying to go to the bathroom.
No,
That's
that's,
a good idea.
punishment for the maid.
My shoe! It's wet!
All right. As we walk up towards the man in charge, I am looking out for the description that the gentleman gave us. I don't suppose he's probably wearing a mask anymore. But I'm looking for the eyes in the uniform that is has no plates to it.
You see a lot of potential matches, but nothing that's like that exactly matches. Even worse, you don't get to see glimpses of eyes on a few, but there's something off about every uniform that you see. The unfortunate side, though, is you start getting in your own head because there's so many uniforms of so many different areas here that at one point, as you're almost to the man in charge, every uniform starts going, oh, it could be that one, could be that one, could be that one.
Shouldn't we be asking who doesn't like Lord Hefton? Or Duke Hefton, or whatever.
Dead Hefton.
They're all the same.
No, they're
Because
not.
somebody has
Celia with a TikTok face.
Whoop whoop.
Love them emotes. Yes, that is a good question.
I feel like that'll
Narrow down.
help.
Mr. Guard, sir.
You can call me the captain.
Mr. the Captain, sir.
No, the captain. That's what all of the uniforms call me.
The Captain.
The captain.
We're here to help.
Alright. What is it you have? He
I'm
looks over
Very
all of you.
strong.
I imagine that Astro just goes, "Woof."
I mean, at this point, he's just kind of sitting at your feet, just wagging his tail, looking at everyone, just like, okay.
You may or may not have heard, but we defeated a dragon earlier today.
Oh, you're that lot. Okay. There's no dragons here.
Right,
He looks
but
up in the sky just to make sure.
there is a murder.
And I am a great detective. It's pretty much my job to solve mysteries.
Hmm.
I mean, it's not that,
Mysteries.
Well, it
Yeah,
seems a man
I
was
mean-
killed, and do you know who killed him?
No, but do you?
Can I roll an insight when he said mysteries? It sounded like he was like saying mystery, like it's not a mystery to him. The person
Fine.
dying.
Go for it. Go for a roll.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. You can
Deepest,
see.
darkest secrets and your social security number, please.
Basically, at this point, you do know everything about the man. You do know that his favorite color is pink, and that he grew up eating the sugariest treats in the world. And he was a little pudgy boy, but now he's a big, strong guard. You
The
learn nothing.
Captain.
The captain. But what you do understand under the tone of it is that he doesn't think there's a mystery here. As he's solved so many things, you understand that it's only a matter of time for him to find the person. As you're trying to understand the man a bit more, you do see scars on his face, and he's got a few little nicks in even his best armor that he's wearing right now. So he's seen battle, he's seen fights, and his eyes keep darting back and forth, watching the whole crowd as if you are of no consequence to him because he's already sized you up. So he's mysteries. It's like, oh, the guy's out there. We've locked down. It's only a matter of time.
How do you plan to find an invisible killer?
Nothing's ever invisible. It's just not seen to a sense. But who says that he's invisible? Or she, or it, or whatever
Our
it is.
sources.
What sources are these?
The party guests that were close.
That drunkard? That one who talks about anything and makes it up most of the time? Or, oh. I saw you, schmoozing with Lady Lavat. Do you expect...
Oh, no. I know what a reliable
She's a
source is.
tablet.
Drunkards don't count.
So you have probably 3 people here that, are your sources, and is it that man over there who's been sipping water all night, or is it that young lady over there who's obviously underage? And he points at someone who looks maybe 16 or 18 and out of her place, kind of wide-eyed looking around.
Sir, you've
Mhm.
obviously sized us up
Mhm.
and know that we are not the ones who committed this murder.
Yep.
So, may we continue into the manor?
No, that's for the leads of both cities, and I don't recognize any of you to have been a ruler or a magistrate or anything here.
He's
What
a
if-
lord.
Well, yes, but if this is being kept for the people of this city, no matter what princess or lord you bring with you, they will not regard you as important enough, it seems.
Well, here's the important part, is we put all of these, roughly 1,216 people, give or take 3, into the home.
Huge courtyard.
It is. It's a massive courtyard that
It's an
runs along.
estate.
Yes.
Mall of America courtyard.
Basically.
How did we get into the courtyard of the never mind.
We were.
You walk
like,
through the
outer
gates
gate.
out the front.
Yeah, the main gates.
But a courtyard is never mind.
Sure,
Never
we
mind.
can
Give or
we
take
can
3.
talk semantics later. But he starts to kind of like sum it all up and goes, you see that how everyone's spread out here. If there were an attack, you're safer apart from one another. If you were all in there, one errant fireball or 3 could take out half the group, and then
He's
some.
not right about that. He's wrong.
Not wrong.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. I see the wisdom in your ways.
All
Is
right.
there any way we can be of service?
See something, say something.
That's catchy.
It's on posters. We're hanging up in town soon.
Oh.
All right. Well, it seems this man doesn't need us.
The murder weapon was a short sword, double-edged sword, regular blade. Just so you know.
Well, finely made.
Well,
He snaps and brings over another guard, whispers something in his ear, and then listens to what the other guard replies. Well, how close were you to the murder when it happened?
We were standing with Steve.
Close enough to make it there before he hit the ground.
Steve, the one over there with the woman with the plastic box thing?
Yes.
Pay no mind to Steve.
We ran quickly.
what's plastic?
Good question.
We were told by the young dwarf gentleman with the growing beard about the weapon. But
The screamer. Okay.
yes.
He was the one that spotted it, and so we know of that as well. You didn't happen to see the blade as well, did you? Alright, well, then we know your source. He's down there, cowering in a corner.
And of course, you're checking anyone with that came in with a mask.
We've checked under all of the masks that we could find. Yes,
Has anyone found an abandoned mask?
there's been quite a few abandoned masks on the ground. It's a party, and people drink and they have fun, and they take off a mask, they drop it, they leave it, whatever.
All right.
But if you're expecting any fancy masks or magical masks, no, we haven't found any of those.
Nothing sparkly.
Oh, there's plenty of sparkle on these masks, just cheap tricks.
Do you believe the tale of the ghost blade?
I heard that one from my mother.
Hmm.
He was an evil, evil man.
All right. Did you grow up rich?
No, just on a farm, just outside.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Nice to meet you, the captain.
And he turns around and walks back to some of his guard.
Well, that was a waste of time.
I don't know if this will work. But I know what a short sword is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would like to locate all the short swords in the area.
Accio short sword?
Much like we did with the wand, I know the short sword, and if I think to myself,
Mm-hmm.
the one which has been used, I don't know if I can classify that or if I classify it through specks of blood.
Yeah.
Hey, we got another follow. Welcome,
Alright.
welcome.
Hello, hypnotic gaze.
Um,
Thank you for the follow.
Can I would like to cast that and see
Mhm.
if I can ping off of something.
And the spell again is what? Locate?
Locate object. I learn the direction to the closest named or described kind or specific object within 1,000 feet,
Clever.
according to this
Yep.
short thing that I can read off the paper because I don't have the full thing printed. And let's see, it's
Can locate a specific object.
not specifically.
Yep.
Specifically,
So
the
you can
murder
so
weapon.
it can locate a specific object as long as you have seen it up close. But if you can describe it and name it, it can give you a general direction.
Yes. So, short sword.
Mhm.
I would describe it as with a double-edged,
Yep.
finely made. Possibly has blood on it.
Okay. So you do get a sense. There's a couple matches. You do get a sense that there's one up near the front of the gate, or up near the front near the gate. That there's one off by the bar that you met the nice, wonderful drunken lady at. And then one back over near where Steve and his friends are, but that one seems to be moving towards you.
Well, I guess first stop, the one moving towards me.
As you look around and you kind of look in that direction, there are two people moving. One moving mildly towards you in a way that seems to be a well-dressed man, and then you see a guard walking a little bit more directly towards you. You don't get the sense of which one it is, but those are the two moving ones that are coming kind of your direction.
Okay. Do I have a sense? Do I get the vibe of the description of the ghost from either of them?
You don't.
Either of them
know.
have glowing eyes.
Neither of them have glowing eyes. One's an actual upper city guard, and one is more of like a regal royal dress,
I guess-
not a.
Looking towards the guard,
Mhm.
do I see? Guards usually have their weapons on display. Do I see a sword on his hip?
He does have a sword on hip, but you can't quite tell. It's a very battered leather sheath that he's got.
Is it long
Can
or is
he
it short?
Wait for them to not be next to each other and then see which one
Huh.
he pings? How long does the spell
I
last?
guess I could. 10 minutes. I got 10 minutes.
I was gonna say, as you're going through your character sheet in your head, Garth's eyes roll back, and he's trying to figure out what he can do. You're looking at both of them, trying to figure it out. You do feel a brief sense of another one show up and then disappear.
Where was that?
That one was kind of back. If you're looking at the front of the home, you're standing in the front on almost near the podium stage. It's back around on what would be the the west side, so to the left for you guys.
I want to go there.
We follow. I follow.
So as you're making your way up, it's a little bit of a grassy patch that kind of leads up around the home. There's more people sitting there. There's a bunch of food and some games that look like it were set up. Over here, there's a few more youngsters, so like the 12 to 18-year-olds. So it seems kind of like a little off to the side, the young royals. And then there's a few guards kind of milling about, and there's a handful of cloaked figures in a group in one spot. You do notice there's a pair of cloaked figures in the back, and then another set of like guards mildly cloaked off to the side. As you notice some of the cloaked figures in groups elsewhere, you do note that most of these groups back here seem a bit different. The pairs seem to be keeping an eye on the crowd, but the one main group seems to be similar to like the blue long-fingered group that you'd met. Very keeping inward, not focusing out like most groups.
I would go over to the group of huddled people. I will say, hello there.
You hear a voice. Hello?
Hi. Is everything all right over here?
Yeah, we're just trying to stay safe. How are you?
Good.
And they're all kind of crouched down, huddled together. You do see a tail flick out from under one of the cloaks and curl back under.
Ah. Are you, not from up here.
Oh, we're not from this world. We're from Faerun.
Faerun!
We figured out somehow that we're on a different world. We asked some questions. These are islands.
I am from Faerun as well.
A hood comes back, and a young man with gold banding on his horns looks up, and he looks at you, and he pulls back briefly and kind of winces, and you don't have any ill will against me, correct?
No, not at all.
Are you really from Faerun?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know this crest?
He kind of looks at it and bumps a hood next to him. Another young man with different golden symbols across his horns looks at it and goes, I don't quite think I know that one, but it does look similar to some of the abbeys that littered some of the countryside. It could be a ruler or a king or
Cool, thanks.
something.
Do any of these tieflings look like any that I saw at Keth's?
Of heads. The first young man looks mildly familiar, but you can't be sure if it was one you saw on the wall or one that you've encountered.
Yes, well, like I said, we three, at least, are from Faerun. I don't suppose you are as well. No.
We should find the sword and come back after, yes?
Yes, well, that's what I wanted to ask. You haven't seen anyone come by here right after the commotion, have you? Anyone kind of slink their way back here?
I wouldn't quite say slink, but the two groups in the back have been in and out and surveying. I'm not sure if they're guardsmen or if they're nobles who are nervous like us. I mean, you're one of the first that we've talked to this evening. It seems that even this different world, tieflings aren't quite as okay here.
My friends, if you find your way to the Undercity, you will be more than welcome.
Also, your horns are really cool.
Thank you. These are quite wonderful symbols that our families emblazoned upon our horns before our travels.
Wonderful.
And they both kind of look back at a face that they recognize as Tiefling kind of peering through. Miss, are you from Faerun as well?
Yeah, he literally just said that.
Well, you stood quietly and stared at us. I didn't know. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. This has been a weird trip. I don't know how it was for you. We actually had to walk a few miles from here. The portal we went through made this one sick, and pats on the back of a guy, and you hear, oh, he's still sick, and it's been a few hours.
Quite
Sorry
unpleasant.
to hear that. Did you create your own portal?
No, it was by the gift of the Calmonto family. They had invited us all here. They promised growth of our kingdoms, and since my family has grown so well in the deep parts of Faerun, we wanted to find a new home that might be more beneficial to us tieflings, as you know, Faerun isn't kind to us.
Understandable. Yes, well, we will keep an eye out. Keep yourself safe, and I think we should go look at those other two groups.
Yep.
Where in Faerun?
And then the northern mountains, quite a ways inland of Toriel. What part of Faerun do you reckon you're from?
Well, I don't know exactly where I'm from.
Your accent sounds like you spent some time near Waterdeep. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, well, that's where I spent most of my later childhood, but...
Well, we're about 12, 14 days travel northeast of there.
Is that a normal thing to do? The
Horn out.
gold?
The gold? Yeah, the royal family's emblazoned gold into the horns. It's a sign of riches and wealth and power. It stings a little, much like an ear piercing. And he pulls the cloak back a little bit more, and you see he's got piercings all down his ear.
Wow.
That's commitment.
It's interesting.
It's a bold statement. I like it.
It's a bit flashy.
Well, I wouldn't do it for me, but
Should we talk to other people?
yes, of
Okay.
course.
Well, good luck.
Bye.
And as you're starting to walk away, a hand reaches out and grabs Valari's arm. That crossbow. Are you from the royal family from the west?
I don't know. A crazy person said something about it once, but
We've heard tale that there was a strong family in the west that suddenly disappeared one day, and only traces of their family were left behind. If you're one of them, there's great riches. Well, there may be great riches if we can ever figure out how to get out of this place. Best of luck, traveler. And he tucks back in.
Can I roll perception on it if I've heard that?
I don't know if it did. That's a 10.
No, you did not.
No.
You heard some mumbling and a little muttering between what you believe is Valari and one of the men you just spoke with.
Okay. Well,
Astro is right at your heels, wagging his tail, enjoying his little adventure.
go, Abstro.
But it's a much smaller little bark. Alright, there's a couple more cloaked.
What's your sword
Groups.
sense tell you?
Are his
Um,
legs tired? Do you think maybe he should ride on my back?
There you go, put him there.
well, it just flashed back here, right?
It flashed back here and it like came into existence and then disappeared out of existence.
So that is all I can go off of. I'm still focusing,
Mm-hmm.
but we probably don't have much time left, and just one of those two groups is what I was aiming for. Pick one.
What do I see?
Both groups are. The two in each group are kind of just talking to one another. Both are very cloaked and like very close. Like you see nothing more than a couple cloaked figures. There's a couple shorter ones off to your left towards the wall. But if you go up the hill just a little bit more, which would get you just around the edge of the house a tiny bit, there's a few games where these two are standing between. And there's a couple groups of teenagers near-ish to both groups.
I'll go to first group. First pair. Closer.
Closer pair. As you walk up, the figures stiffen up a little bit, hearing approaching. Couple hoods come down, and it's two older elven men, and they look at you and kind of look back and forth. What is it that you wish with us? Are you here to kill us like the death that happened over there?
No. We're trying to solve the death.
All right.
Did you come here because you were promised riches and land?
No, we came here because our great grandchildren have. They're over there, and points to a group of teenage-looking elves. They're passing around a small bottle and taking sips out of it, and the old man shakes his head. And they're trouble. They're over there imbibing of these fine wines, and I don't see them being leaders, but they were promised it, so they're here. The other guy, we're just the chaperones, you might say.
All right.
Move along.
Moving on.
Can I do an insight check
Mm-hmm.
on like if there's some kind of disguise
Yep.
or?
Go for it. Perfect.
That's a 9.
It's a 9. They're wrinkly old elves up into their high hundreds.
Jeez, interesting. Old elves.
They're very high
I was gonna
hundreds.
say.
They're. That's why it's their great trailed on a bit grandchildren.
All right. Quickly to the next group.
As you approach the next group, one of them walks up towards you and kind of gets up in your face and pulls his hood back, and he's a very burly man. Well, what is it? You here to accuse us as well?
As well.
Everyone's been blaming the hoods that we're the ones that caused trouble.
I see a lot of hoods.
Well, there's a lot of hoods because there's a lot of people who don't want to be known, seen, understood. There's a lot of people who don't know, see, or understand, meaning that lot over there you just spoke with, they believe that the tiefling folk are shunned. They just didn't open up here. We allow them in this city from time to time. They may live freely in theirs below.
You're from here?
Hmm.
Why were you invited?
Well, I'm here as part of special missions, you may say.
For who?
Royal Guard.
The Royal Guard.
Yes,
Which Royal Guard?
the Royal Guard.
The Upper Royal Guard or the Lower Royal Guard?
Well,
Or
that would break special missions protocols.
the Royal Guard from beyond the walls.
You mean
The people who've been invading.
the Farm Town Guard?
The Dragon Guard.
Oh,
Wasn't there like a whole horde of people that were fighting?
the Dragon Guard. Oh, you talking about the odd ones that raised the dragons and attacked the town?
Is that you?
Wouldn't that be nice? I would be able to fly anywhere on a dragon.
I can roll to
It would
solve the
eat
mystery.
you.
Not if I control it, miss. And he looks across your group and looks down at the pup. Quite a small pup there, the runt of the litter.
Can I roll an insight check on this guy?
Yeah, go for it.
That's a 21.
21. You do see that this man is covering for something,
Mm-hmm.
and as you notice and understand that, you come to the realization that he came up into your face,
Yeah, where's the other one?
and the other one is not to be seen.
So I
watched
say,
the other one.
"Where's your friend?" As I'm like grabbing my dagger and like pointing it at him.
Friends. What are you talking about?
The guy, your companion. Where are they?
Well, my cohort is off to carry on his mission.
It's been only mere moments, yes?
Only mere moments, like the span of maybe 60 to 80 seconds.
Can I try to do a perception check to see if I can locate where the other person went?
Sure.
I was gonna say, well, I want to keep an eye on it.
14.
14. You do recall kind of keeping a slight eye on the other guy, but coming to the attention of the large figure that approached you, it does seem like he moved back around to the front of the house.
Do I remember what he looked like? The other one?
He was cloaked. You did catch a little bit of a shining white metal boot.
Where did he go?
So you work for the lady then?
Well, I might work for a lady or a man. Does it matter?
Perception, do I see anything on his face?
You mean insight?
Yeah.
Insight.
No, I want to perceive
Perceive.
his face.
Perceive his face.
She's
She leans
She's, like,
in.
looking at his moles.
Yeah.
His
He has a
freckles.
nose.
6. Counting his
6.
eyelashes.
You see big black eyebrows some
Eugene
stubble
Levy?
as if he had missed a spot. And
I tell him, you missed a spot, by the way.
Do you tell us where you saw the doesn't
he
That's
kind of
okay.
puts his hand up.
Yeah.
You need a
Do you
mint.
want a better vantage point?
Mhm.
Do you want a better
You
vantage
need a
point? I can make you
tissue.
fly.
Yes, I want that.
No, I don't.
Do you think it'll draw
Carry
towards
on your
attention?
way, miss. Before, and he puts his hand down on
I
his,
won't go high,
his hilt.
but it will
fine.
give me. how much
Before I
speed
must
does it
use
do?
this.
It'll make me move faster.
You would pull a sword on a princess.
Oh gosh, what's happening over there?
You two started muttering off in the distance. She leaned in and started insulting this guy.
You can go. I'll
He-
take care of him.
He looks at you and goes, "Well, I'm not that nice of a man."
Don't you work for the royal guard, and yet you have no respect for royalty?
Didn't tell you which royalty that I work for.
Oh yes, quite right. Which royalty was that?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, I think it does.
He steps back.
I'm gonna at this moment. I'm just gonna put my hand on him and cast fly on him.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, don't get into trouble. And I'm going to start flying at a speed of 60 feet.
Don't be suspicious.
Hovering or
I'm not up. I'm like levitating. I'm like, haha, that way. But now I can move at like 120 feet at a dash action.
Dang. Okay.
So now
So in a-
I'm trying
in
to
a span
find
of 6 seconds.
that other hood that started walking away.
All right. As this is going on,
Mhm.
and you do that, you do blast past a bunch of teenagers, and you hear some profanities as you fly past them. You do notice there's a cloak dropped on the ground about 40 feet out, heading towards the front of the house. It's kind of dropped near one of the bushes.
Can I go like try and grab it as evidence?
I told you before that he had white boots too.
Great.
Sleight of hand dexterity, whichever is better. So you can grab it as you're moving forward. Otherwise, you will slow your speed.
You said sleight of hand or dexterity. That was me using a luck point to get up to 15.
You do catch your fingers on it and lift it up without losing speed, but you kind of bobble it a little bit, and you look down at the cloak. As you look back up, I need you to make me a check of, I guess, dexterity to avoid something.
The wall.
Is this a dex save?
Safe, yes.
It doesn't matter. If it's a
Doesn't
save or
matter,
not.
it's the same.
21.
21.
21.
You look up just at the right time and rotate around a guard that's standing there looking the opposite direction and kind of blow a little bit of his cloak up, and he turns and looks away, and you make it around him without him noticing that you were
Mhm.
there, other than the fact that there was this weird gust of wind.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. And then as you kind of come to back up near the stand, you're hovering there holding the cloak in hand. What would you like to do?
I look around for white boots. Shining white metal-y boots.
There's a bunch of different boots. There's some very nice polished skin boots, a leather-ish. There's some really fine silver boots on a few different guards of different royalties. You do notice a few white gleaming shoes throughout, but there's a lot there. But you do notice one man walking away in particular does have something that matches sort of a gleaming, bright, white-ish boot, and he's moving his way up towards the front gate, and he's already a good ways out on you. Like, if
Yeah,
this
I'm
is
gonna-
your guy, he's
Yeah, I'm gonna
made
make
good
sure
time.
no one gets to the front gate and tries to get away.
As you start blasting forward, you hear a bunch of guards yell out, "Stop him! He's using magic!" And then you hear, "Bring him down! He shouldn't be doing that! Is that our assassin?" And then you hear screams throughout the crowd, and a few people like move away as you're blasting through the crowd. At this moment, that's when there's two people just kind of like baring teeth and nearly foaming at the mouth, talking about princess and royal guard, staring each other down, and then the guy looks up and kind of looks around a little bit distracted from the spat back and forth as he looks out and sees this small
They
figure
call me
zooming
the
through.
streak.
The streak. The streaker is moving through the crowd.
I know exactly.
And
what you're
and he does kind of squint and look around as if he's looking for someone or something in the crowd.
Lose someone? Oh, is that your friend? Well, what was his name again?
Wouldn't tell you.
But you already have.
What?
What? I don't know what's happening. I thought you were gonna just punch him in the face.
I thought about it.
No, I just haven't. See, to name something or to give a name would be like, my friend's name is Ishtar. But, I didn't do that.
Did I not tell you?
You can read minds. You can do a fancy dance. You are an assassin in a princess dress.
Yes.
Well, no, but you are.
This is why
Which
I
is
do
it?
the talking.
Which is it?
Yes. I like shooting at Lord Draco. I'm like, I'm gonna get it up. Help me.
I was talking with Garth and did not hear like any of the but my character did not hear any
You missed
of the
all of the
interaction.
interaction up until this point
Up until
where
right
now,
now,
like,
I'm very confused.
where we just got back into it because
For
you're
all you
like
know, she's a
straightening your.
psychic. We've known each other 5 hours.
He kind of looks at you and goes, you're here and you've had too many drinks.
No.
Okay.
What is it? Do
Valari,
something. Make a
What is she
decision.
doing?
I wasn't listening either. Because I was distracted, but I heard them yell. So I'm going back to like when I wanted to interject, but they were. So I heard the yell. I turned and looked, and did I see the guy running?
You need to roll a perception check on that one.
1 second.
Charm person? Anybody?
I don't have it.
I don't have it. I'm waiting for
gonna go with
magic.
my
I have, like, 6
passive,
spells.
which is 12.
You did notice a streak of movement as you were looking at the large figure as it approached, but you can't recall which direction. But now that this has all gone off, you have seen Garth blast out, so you believe that's where he went.
Alright, so he went out. I saw this because I heard the yell. I turned around, saw Guard.
Oh, you're talking about the yells of everyone saying
Yeah.
touch Garth. Oh yeah, so yes, you've turned and seen Garth, and now like guards moving in on Garth and some motion out in the crowd.
Okay, but did I see the guy running?
No.
Well, I think Garth wouldn't have. So I'm gonna, Misty Step.
Uh-oh.
How far is Garth from me?
He's now like 150 feet out, 200
never
feet
mind.
out.
Yeah,
Never mind.
I'm moving fast.
Garth is moving 20 feet a second, so he clears from essentially this room to the front door. And
Well, can I tell you? Never mind. I don't think I can. I was like, can I tell you what I want to do and you'll tell me if it'll work?
if you wanted to divulge a secret you could use later, maybe.
I want to punch this guy in the stomach.
I got your back.
I got your
If you
back.
want to.
You
We
think
can
he's
take him.
bad?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I turn to the man while she's figuring out what she's doing.
Yeah, sorry.
Guess what I have behind my back?
Because you're at a party, you probably have a broken wine bottle you want to stab me with.
Wrong! And I punch him in the stomach with my fist.
Alright, roll the hit.
Also, just so you know, I'm moving at 81 miles per hour.
20 feet a second? Yeah.
120 feet. per
6 seconds.
6 seconds.
I
So
have my
20 feet a
strength.
Oh
second.
wait, 20 feet. Oh, maybe I did that wrong.
Would I have my strength for that?
Yes. Yep, your strength modifier.
14.
That
Miss.
seemed a little fast.
So you do swing, and you
Okay, I'm going
clang
14.
right up into a chest
That's not like
plate,
it.
doing no damage.
I'm moving 14.
At this point, I need you to roll for initiative, and it'll be just you at this moment.
Okay.
We'll get you guys in just a second.
Okay.
All right.
16.
All right. This man goes first. He reaches out and he grabs both of your shoulders, and he leans back as if he's gonna headbutt you. And just as he swings forward, a hand comes up around his head, and then another one with a knife comes up against his neck, and you hear, "Run now! Run now!"
I run.
And as you get a glimpse of the face that kind of peers around the head and is holding this man back, you do recognize
Is it Ebron?
Ebron.
Ebron's back! I'm
Wait.
so excited.
What the fuck?
You realize who Ebron could be, right?
No.
He could be the
The
ghost.
killer.
I run.
You run. So at this moment, as you see,
I mean, it's
Ari's landed a punch and is about to get headbutted back. A figure just kind of swoops in and pulls the large man back, and Ari just turns tail and
And I'm gonna
blasts.
grab him by the arm and like
Alright.
try to pull him with me.
I'm not going. Sorry. I mean, you can roll a check. We can roll against each other.
Strength checks for
'Kay.
each.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. First sleight of hand for Ari to make sure that
She can grab him.
Draklin doesn't like get a
Yeah, I
a
was
quick
gonna say,
swipe.
can I roll
It'll be
dex?
11.
Can I roll dex instead?
Yeah,
to
you
jump
can
out
roll
of the way?
to get out of the way. Yep,
That's a 21.
21.
Cool.
So you reach out
I'm
for him,
bolting,
and
he stays.
he kind of pulls back, and you've turned and have run past. Valari is kind of near you. You are now watching.
What does this guy look like?
So you haven't met Ebron. Let me pull his character
Oh.
sheet up.
FYI, how close am I to the guy? I don't know. Am I probably like within 5 feet of the guy and Ebron?
Yeah, 5 to 7 feet, somewhere in there. Quickly, he is a human that is very war torn. He's been in a lot of fights. Gruff, stubbly beard, scar across his face. His long hair is kind of pulled back, but it is still a mess. He's wearing a cloak that, as you note, maybe shouldn't have made it into the party, but still is. Underneath, he's got some very well-kept leathers,
He's Aragorn.
basically.
Yeah, basically.
What you recognize
Strider.
him to be is essentially a roguish type.
Okay.
So now that he's got a knife to this guy's throat, I'm like, I'm gonna ask you again, and it's in your best interest to tell me, where is your cohort?
The guy kind of lets out a little as the knife is like pressed right up against the skin, just about ready to cut. Ebron's face peeks around and goes, "Run? No. You'll be safer."
I need answers.
And as he does, a blast occurs. I need both of you to make dexterity checks.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
Saves?
Saves, yes. Thank you.
15.
15.
Hang on a second. Hang on a second.
Well, you ran.
I tried.
That's why he didn't make her.
I know.
I don't.
You listen to Ebron.
Look what
So-
you guys did.
You know how when I use my
I
passive
don't even know this dude is.
perception, I can use the number that's in the box.
Yeah.
Can I use? Is that a passive DC or is that a number that
That's
people have
your
to roll
DC.
against?
That's your DC when someone's making a check. To
Okay.
you.
So I'm
You
gonna
don't use that. You use.
Hang on.
Uh-oh.
She's trying to save from the save.
I gotta figure out which one of these I can use.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It's
it's about to go down.
Ari is hyper
Jeez.
tonight.
Yes.
My friend who disappeared, who we jailbroke, is back.
Okay, so bend lock says as a reaction I can add or subtract. Oh, so I probably can't use it to add to my, because it says to another's attack roll, ability check, or
To
save.
others, yeah.
I can't use it to mine.
I can look it up here quick,
I don't
but
think. I mean, the way it reads right there would be no.
no.
Do you have something that can give you a reroll?
No, because I can't use my Tides of Chaos because we haven't rested.
We did a short rest. You don't get that back.
I don't get anything back.
You can buy a Tides of Chaos, but you do a wild magic surge,
I'm okay with that.
and you can't stop this one.
Right. No, I know. That's
All right.
um.
Tides
that
of Chaos
or-
allows you to.
So Tides of Chaos. I'm going to, but it says once per long rest though.
Oh, so you've already
But-
done that.
But you can buy it back.
Oh, I can
At the
roll on
cost.
the magic search table.
Yep.
Okay. So do I roll my Tides of Chaos first or my?
Let's
magic?
resolve your Tides of Chaos, and we'll get your
Okay,
payment in a
so-
second.
That's better. Okay. But I'm going to have a 17. No, a 13. A
Okay.
13.
Please roll your wild
I
magic.
didn't
Magic.
say that. I know I didn't say that.
Kill
It was
the
better.
drow next to you.
Suddenly,
Oh
that.
no, she rolled a 63! Ah!
Don't make that joke because
She has almost.
I has almost killed the whole party.
What did you get?
A 76.
Trombones
76.
and the big
Oh,
parade.
that one means the drow next to you gets money. On
Wait,
top of
what if
money.
trombones just show up, guys?
Thank
What
you for finishing that word.
Valari? What you feel is you said 76, correct?
Yeah.
What you feel is a surge of crackling energy through your body
Yeah.
that like ripples through every blood vessel down to your fingertips and then back into your core and sits there. So you feel this crackling energy within you.
I like this.
Okay.
That's all you feel.
I know.
It'll come into effect in a bit.
Okay, I know. But about the save.
The save,
Like,
however,
did not save.
Roll down.
neither of you have saved, but you're just knocked prone and you've fallen backwards, and as you are backwards and looking up to the sky, you hear a thud as another body had fallen back and slid, and you assume it's Ebrin's, and out shoots from where Ebrin was standing a big white prismatic dragon floating up above the crowd and honing in down towards where Garth is at.
Oh shoot! I got to
At-
fly
At
fast.
this moment,
Oh, did I take any damage or no?
no
we're just
damage,
knocked
you just
prone.
knocked prone. You're just blasted back. At this moment,
Because
it'll take-
technically I'm concentrating on his fly spell. I'm just checking.
No, you took no damage. You're just knocked
Okay.
backwards. You're just kind of like blasted back with a gust of wind.
You're still like
Ah.
fly, 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 fly.
And as you kind of sit up and look forward, the man is no longer there. Just his cloak and armor sit.
He naked?
No!
No, he's not there.
He draggy!
Wow.
He's the
He's a
Wow.
honey, honey.
We have
Ari's the -1 intelligence.
she played her character just fine.
I'm also
Is
minus
that
one
an-
intelligence. I thought he blew up.
Is that a naked dragon up there? It's a naked dragon.
She thinks there's a naked guy running around. He thinks he blew up and there's no
Guys,
mess
look for
to
the
clean
naked
up.
man!
Ari's just like, burly naked dude? That's gonna get clipped. Please go back, make sure it's clipped, share it to all your socials. We're here, be dragons. Thank you. Cool. So there's a prismatic dragon flying around, a naked prismatic dragon.
Towards me.
Okay,
Towards
so
you.
does this mean we have to do something?
Okay,
There's
I'm running
screams.
though,
There's-
and I see this, right?
Yep, you see it blast up over you.
Wait, there wasn't a spell he cast to do this, right?
Not
Reveal
that you,
self?
Not that
you
I was
could
aware of, right?
Tell.
Okay.
So it seems like it was an innate thing.
Okay, cool. Just making sure for
I'm
like
gonna.
counter
I know
spelling
he's
purposes.
forever
Yeah.
away, but I'm going to yell Garth and start running towards where I think he is.
Garth, at this moment, you've heard, when this all went down, you heard a thunderous boom
Mm-hmm.
coming back from the direction where your friends are at, and you hear a flap
kind of wings, but it doesn't sound like a flap. It sounds almost like crackly, jingly, as if it was like wings made out of diamonds, essentially.
Is that what you mean by prismatic dragon?
Mm-hmm.
A diamond dragon?
It's a ethereal glow with diamonds.
Could I
floating
put my
throughout it.
hand through it?
Potentially, but
you
like
punch hard
it's
enough?
it's magical. And
Does it look
diamond.
solid?
I mean, it's not
It's
a
got solid
fey.
parts. It's got solid parts. So it's essentially a dragon form of.
Think of Porygon.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
It's a
Yeah, I don't
prismatic
know that.
dragon, meaning like if you take a chandelier and smash it all together and shape it like a dragon, and there's a magical force that kind of holds things floating
Could
together.
I
That's what it
swing
does.
from it?
Sure, you can swing through the
Okay.
chandelier.
Sorry, carry on.
I think I know what you got an idea about. But anyway,
All right.
maybe I don't.
There is no course of it actually attacking. It starts to circle above at the moment where Garth is at, and Garth, you do notice it, and I'll let you tell me if it does slow you to a stop, but up to you.
So it's above me.
It's launched up above you, and it's
where's the
hovering.
dude? That
I
I'm-
need you to make a perception check just to make sure that you don't get any like distraction in it.
Also, in this courtyard we're in, you
Mhm.
said there's a bubble.
It's a bubble that's
Can
about
I-
120, 130 feet above that kind of
It's
encompasses
it's
the
like
entire.
seems like something
it's like
you
a
can't
dome.
go through.
It's a magical dome, and it kind of crackles throughout.
Can I
Yeah.
cast Firebolt?
You can cast Firebolt if you want. How long is your range?
120.
Yes, that would roughly hit. It's a big enough thing.
I'm also
she's-
gonna summon my bow as an action.
You gonna summon your bow?
While
All
they're
right.
doing that, I'm gonna yell to the guards, "Fire at the dragon!" And I'm going
Oh,
to
no.
rip a throwing axe from my thigh holster.
All right. Again, as Garth had yelled out prior, the guards were already on top of it without you needing to be there.
I
And
figured,
they're-
but I just wanted to. You
the
know.
few that have bows are aiming, but they're seeing that there's no flesh to stick into. There's a few figures standing throughout the crowd, and you see one making some motion, like building a fireball up. You see another drawing symbols in the air.
You see Jessica with her.
I mean,
Take
I
a
don't know if you
She's
could,
taking.
I don't know if you could
She's video
see
recording.
her, but you could see her screen kind of reflecting as she's doing a selfie with the dragon.
Oh,
She's not recording it?
Unreal! Oh my gosh!
Choice.
I rolled a 10, by the way.
A 10 to hit.
Yeah.
You fire a
That's
firebolt
selfie.
off, and it whirs up over the dragon. It misses, and it kind of sparkles as it hits the dome.
My
The
perception was a
thunder
12.
roll.
Perception is a 12. You do get distracted and look up as you see a wing kind of flutter in your vision, and when you look forward, you are left scanning for the man, and he's disappeared into the crowd.
Ow. Okay. Jeez, this is not the mystery I thought it was.
Can you please roll me another perception?
Yes, I can. 13.
13.
My perception is.
Up one
Awful.
from what it was.
You're looking for the man, and you scan across the crowd, and you think you see him in 3 different spots, but then you realize there's something different about each of the people you see.
Mm-hmm.
And as you look down to regain yourself, you do notice there's this weird glowing ringlet sitting on the ground. And as Garth does, you look at it, and it's almost not even sitting on the ground, it's mildly hovering above it.
Mm.
And it does have a little secondary ringlet on it that looks like it attaches to a belt or something. So it's essentially a metal oval with like a belt oval that would like hook on, and this would hang as like an extra clasp essentially.
Got it. I will. Can't do that right away. Can't do that right away. Check here, really quick. No, that wouldn't work either. I cast Firebolt at it.
You cast firebolt.
right? Because it looks like it's floating, right?
It looks like it's hovering above the ground just a little bit.
Well, then, what? I'll zoom down and try and grab it.
I mean, you said you weren't flying; you were just
Oh, yeah,
hovering over the ground.
yeah.
So like you can kind of bend over.
Oh,
and
okay,
reach
I'll
it.
do that then.
So as you reach it, you kind of catch your finger into the bigger ring. The ring expands just a little bit, and you see into it as if it's a pocket dimension, and you see a bunch of arrows in there that disappear into a bunch of sparkle, and now it seems like the inside of a quiver.
What the deuce? It seems like the inside of a quiver?
An empty quiver.
Empty quiver. It's got like a clip that I can clip on?
It's got like a little clasp, yeah, that hooks into like a belt or a strap or onto armor somewhere. So
Okay.
yeah, it's a clip that almost like a safety pin you could kind of clasp back into itself.
Jeez. Then I'll clasp it to my belt for now.
All right. So you've got this little.
And it looks like a
ring
quiver.
hanging.
I'm gonna
It-
reach my hand in. Do I
Do you-
grab anything? Is there
You
anything
reach
there?
in and you hit the edges and sides that feel like in your younger days when you'd go do archery, an empty quiver when you'd finally hit that
Yeah,
last
yeah.
piece and you go, oh, dang, I went one more shot away from a bullseye.
And that's what I found directly below me. And
Yep.
it's just like this and this.
It's just like one metallic oval with the little belt clasp on it. And it's see-through. It's seriously just an oval. On your belt, it kind of like hovers. It doesn't like flap hard against your side. It stays kind of hovering there.
Great. Okay. I feel like somebody dropped this, but I don't know. I'm lost now. It's very
I could
cool.
totally use that.
Yeah, someone's gonna be able to use it. I can't necessarily use it, and my brain is thinking to myself, okay, the dude might have dropped this. It might be a clue, but now I've got a dragon, and I still want to find the dude.
The dragon swirls above you, and the crowds have cleared around you, and the dragon drops in front of where you're standing looking at this quiver thing. I assume Ari is rushed towards the dragon, and is up there at that point. Valari, Draklin, what are you doing as the dragon is circling and Ari is rushing
Well, I
towards?
got up and fired firebolt.
You fired firebolt. Are you gonna continue forward, or are you gonna continue firing?
Yeah, because as far as I know, this thing is like not Draklin, Ebrin, or the other guy, or one of them killed the other, or something. So I'm.
You do see out of the corner of your eye, Ebrin's just like sitting up and cracking his neck,
Okay.
and you see that he's very stunned but alive.
Okay.
So you can tell that something happened there, but Ebrin's okay at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go more into range of the.
All right, Draklin, what are you doing?
I'm gonna walk up to Ebrin.
All right.
Is he sitting still? He's like sitting up.
He's like sat up, and he goes, I wasn't quite expecting that. That packs a punch. And he kind of looks right up at you. I didn't summon it. It was already in that form. I was trying to stop it. Oh, I warned you. He grabs your hand and
I'll kinda
pulls
pop
up.
him up.
and then
Sir,
he-
who are you?
before he lets go of your hand, he notices you got a little dust on your arm, so he knocks it off.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Automatic besties.
I like prestidigitation it. Oh yes.
My name is Ebrin, and I've been a hired hand, and I've been around for some time, and I've been investigating someone who's taken my place as I was wrongfully imprisoned. You see, there was a... And he looks, and he sees the dragon drop, and he goes, long story short, lots of trouble. There's a society that passes down a tradition. There's assassins. We need to go.
Will it help you take down that dragon if I allow you to fly?
Maybe.
I flying?
Sure.
Sorry, Garth. and then I'll put my hand on him and cast fly on him, and then your fly
I
goes
need
away.
you to do a dex save.
Aren't I on the ground? Near the thing?
You leaned over. You're still hovering. But
Sorry.
I need you to do a
On
dex
your
save.
belt.
I need you to do a dex save. Ibrin,
He said yes, right?
yeah, he
would
kind of
help?
nods
Okay.
at you, and
I'll
he
cast it on him.
he launches up, and you see
Sorry, friend.
a blade
10.
that glows
That was a
bright
one.
blue come out of his belt, and you see him reach in and grab an orb that glows, and he just kind of launches off and twirls and flies like this isn't his first time to have fly on. And you had what?
A 10.
A 10? You kind of drop down to your knees and realize that fly has been taken off of you, or at least knocked free.
Hmm.
You don't know why fly is
Yeah.
no longer on you.
Yep.
Hello, fly.
Drackland, after you've sent him off, do you run in or do you stand back?
I mean, I will, like, I'm not running. I'm gonna, like, probably, like, jog in the direction that Ari and Valaria have both gone.
Okay.
I'm more confused and don't really know how to respond, so
All good?
I'm just gonna make my way in that direction, but yeah.
Alright, the dragon drops. There are some guardsmen, but I do need everyone to roll initiative, please.
That's actually appropriate with how I'm playing right now.
With how I'm playing right now.
I got a 1 right there.
Oh, well,
The nice
good.
thing about
Okay.
these
So you're not
dice
gonna bother.
is that their ones are
For
different.
once.
The nice
Are
thing
very
about those
different.
dice is there's 20 on every side.
Mhm. So the
Well,
one looks
then
like
I
that,
really
and the
messed
7
up.
looks like that.
Oh, yeah.
But I've had plenty of dice where I'm like these guys, where it's like because of that thing. I'm like, wait, what is it?
Yeah.
2 seconds as I'm getting this dragon situated.
But blacksmith craft dice, they're really easy to read because
They
the
are.
ones aren't the Britannic ones. They're more like a Roman numeral one.
Yeah.
Super handy, and much less confusing.
Alright. Ari.
23.
23.
Dang.
Garth.
17.
17. Tinkerbell, what's yours?
The sticky
Well,
thing is I only have 2
Drackland?
axes.
1 total?
I have 1 plus 3, but I don't know if do ones get modified still?
Yeah.
So 4.
For initiative, yeah. Valari?
7.
7 total.
Can you let me know what Astro rolled?
Yeah. You'll know as soon as it gets to his turn.
That's rude.
I'm sorry, Astro is controlled by me.
I know, but,
But-
I'm just curious.
Clothes.
You get to know what we
I
all
assume she
roll.
was here.
I got to hear everyone else's rolls, so I was just curious.
Alright. Cool. So we have Garth, nearish, Ari right behind, essentially.
Drackland just behind them.
Drackland a little ways behind
Just
that.
kidding.
Valari.
I'm glad because
and Doggo.
I'm always at the bottom. So I'm like,
Glad I
yes,
could take that
thank
place for you.
goodness for
Alright.
Alex.
So,
Bring it
I don't
on.
know, I'm just saying, like,
Last.
in terms of close to the dragon.
The dragon, yes.
Yeah,
So, Ari, you start. You run up next to Garth, who kind of dropped and is picking himself up. And this prismatic glowing dragon is shooting out a diamond here and there and kind of like a defensive mode. And he looks at both Garth and you.
Put some clothes on.
What? It's a dragon.
Do I get the feeling that if I throw my throwing axe, that it will just go through?
You get the feeling that you can hit something for sure.
Do I see a weak spot?
It's a bunch of twirling diamonds at the moment that you need to figure out. This is something you've never encountered.
No, it's not. I'm just gonna hurl my throwing axe.
What's that?
How far above the ground?
It's dropped down to the ground and it's kind of walking towards the group. It's in a menacing mode right now.
I hurl my throwing axe.
Hurl your throwing axe.
Axe or
19.
axes?
And it's critical, because it's a 19 and I get critical hit. On
First
20.
dice
Stop
roll
20.
is a nat 19. First.
so it's 1d6 so it's already 12 because I get a plus 6. So 12, 15.
15 points of damage.
And I can't take a second because the axe is gone. So I look around me to see if there's any other weapons that I can
All right.
pick up.
So you threw it. The dragon's about 25, 30 feet out and kind of looking at you as it's walking towards you. It bounces kind of off of a chest piece and slides a little closer to you. It's still about 15 feet up from you, just so you're aware that it's halfway between you and the dragon, roughly.
Okay.
It did look like it chipped where it hit, and there are a couple loose stones as it had landed and unsettled the ground.
I don't have catapult. With my movement, could I run forward, grab it, and then retreat back to where I was to finish out my
Yeah,
turn?
you could. You wouldn't be engaged with it.
Okay.
So you could get that and come right back to Garth.
I'm going
and
to do that.
Drop down. All right. The dragon, as much as it's approaching you, had seen fire bolts coming at it and sees glowing orbs and various things throughout the crowd. And there's one wizard who's got a massive fireball getting ready to launch. The dragon looks towards it and
Better hit than me.
fires off.
Sorry, NPC.
Yeah.
What seems to be an icy diamond bolt. It blasts right into the fireball that the mage is building, and you hear the Wilhelm scream as the mage slides across the grass and kind of sits up, and his whole cloak is smoking, and he lets out a cough of smoke. He's alive, but definitely super stunned, and he turns back to the group as his biggest external force has now been taken care of. Garth, you're right there.
All right. Well, I think that was such a big beastie that I'm going to cast Melf's minute meteors.
Also, if you're in a hurry, it's Melf's Minute Meteors. 1 minute in the microwave, you got 6 meteors.
Exactly. Okay, so I create 6 meteors around me.
No, it's just
I can blast them at casting, which is an action, and I can also use a bonus action. So I'm going to send 4 at this thing. Boom, 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 boom. I'm going to just pelt it. It is a...
Is it an auto hit, like a magic missile? Or
It is a dex save.
Dex
now it's 4
save.
different ones.
4
so
different
do you have
dex
to do
saves.
4 dex saves?
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt here on 4 different dex saves, so that way it's not a one and done either way.
Cool.
So it looks like my highest here is a 15.
That would save. 14 is the save.
Alright, I have a 13, a 9, and a 7. So
Okay.
3 hits.
So those will take full damage.
The
Let
other one
me...
takes half, right?
Yes, so I'm going to roll the full damage ones right now. Oh, that's a couple 6s, but a couple 1s too. So that's 10. Yep, so that's 19 full. And then this will be halved. Wow. 7.5 is 3. Right, we round down.
22 points of damage.
22
points of damage. So you see the meteors hit and knock a couple smaller diamond-esque shapes out, and they shatter on the ground and then just sizzle into smoke. And you see one of the meteors kind of lodge into one of the bigger diamonds and just sear and smoke there for a moment and then disappear. At this point, Valari, you hear "Arf, arf," and a little dog looks up at you, and
Can I quick pull his collar off? Is that possible?
you can't on his turn, but you can. He's looking for a command. I will let you give him one at this point. He's looking up at you and just kind of waiting. Like he's spoken to you, you can speak back.
Well, I don't want like a 2-pound thing trying to attack a dragon because I know he will not damage me like he did before. So I
you put your hand out, and he kind of looks at you puzzled and sits down and just kind of waits there and kind of jitters in place like a little puppy would. Valaria, it is now your turn.
Okay. I've got a phone. I'm gonna try chromatic orb.
Okay.
Do I
What?
have to say what level right now, or?
I would say what level you're casting it at, and
I'm
what
wanting to-
damage type.
3. And I'm gonna go with. Sorry, I don't know that much. So I'm gonna, I guess, try lightning.
Okay.
I don't know that much about different things.
Diamonds are super effective.
Crit.
Crit.
Nat 20,
Crit
yo!
it. What? Crit
Nat
it.
20,
You got a
what?
crit. You got a crit.
Chromatic
You got
orb
crit.
at level 3 is 5d8 of damage.
Also, you wanna know what's awesome?
Resistance to lightning damage.
The opposite.
200% resist. No. No.
Vulnerability to
What?
lightning damage.
What you feel as you build chromatic orb up
The
Oh,
energy
I
that was in
forgot.
that
there.
crackle in your chest travels down your arm, and that chromatic orb, instead of being a baseball size, turns into a basketball size.
I have 2.
So it's the size of your head. You do not have to roll
Oh, I can use my
anything.
D6.
You do not have to roll anything because you are going to get full damage for the hit anyways. But since you crit, you get 2 full damages.
So
What?
5.
You-
That's 80
points of
80,
damage.
80 points of damage.
Yikes.
Because you just lucked out they stacked. Also, because of vulnerabilities. I don't like giving away numbers, but you did 120 points of damage.
Oh my god!
Jeez. I was
So-
like, I'm standing there. I'm like, all right, that's a pretty good hit. Good job, Melts Meteors. Then all of a sudden, like, the freaking Death Star opens from the other side of the party.
crackling orb doesn't like zoom over you; it like looms past
Yeah.
because it's just so full, and you feel your hair stand on end, and a
Yeah.
crackle go through your garb, and it just
There you go.
sinks into that
That felt
large diamond in the center and shatters it, and the dragon shrinks incredibly in size as it reconfigures to keep a dragon shape.
I
And-
imagine it feels like when you
Shiny, bright,
burn
like a diamond.
off like that pre-energy workout or that pre-workout energy drink, and you're just like,
Yeah,
Like, I
right.
just felt
Right
better.
now, Valara, you feel like you've gone for a nice run and had a nice shower, and you've stepped out and went, "That was good."
yeah.
And the dragon is now about 2/3 of its size. Its wings are smaller. It's no longer shooting little diamonds out for protection. It
Did
is.
its voice go up like an octave?
Yes, it did. Just for you. And there's a glittery powder of dust around it now as you shattered like the core stone that made it up. One would say it's bloodied if it could get bloodied, meaning you took down over half its health.
Oh,
Jeez.
Wow. Draklin, do you just want to go pet it on the head and kiss it goodnight or something?
I'm so
Sure
thankful for
don't.
that gift
Good
of
night.
the diamond.
How far away am I?
You're probably about 45 feet out at the moment as
Okay.
you've stayed behind. You didn't rush up with the rest of the group.
So I'll go 15 feet forward.
Mhm.
I'll cast Hexblade's Curse on it.
Okay.
Which is in within 30 feet. And then I'll move back 15 feet again.
All right.
And then with my bow, I'm going to take 2 shots at it.
Cool. Hexblade's curse does what again?
Hexblade's
I'm not
Curse
gonna get the kill.
does...
The honorary kill.
I gain bonus to my damage rolls,
Okay.
equal to proficiency bonus.
Perfect.
So added that, and then any attack roll I make, a 19 or 20 crits,
Perfect.
and then if it dies, I regain hit points equal to my warlock level plus my charisma modifier.
Nice. Awesome. So you've cast it on it, and that lasts how long? Indefinite?
No. Let me check.
10 minutes, something like that. I know it's a bit longer.
1 minute.
1 minute. Okay. So 10
It
rounds.
ends early if I die, or if it dies, I die, or I'm incapacitated.
All right.
10 rounds.
My first one is a 15 to hit.
15 to hit, that misses.
Okay. And my second one is a much better. 23 to hit.
Hits.
Okay. And that is going to be a D8 plus 8. That's 11 damage.
11 damage. So the first shot flies between a bunch of the diamonds floating in. The second one hits one of the larger stones and takes a chip off of it and kind of bounces down at its feet.
Do we see Ebron do anything?
Ebron hasn't done much yet. He's hovering above and he's got a crackling orb in his hand.
Okay.
You see a blue swirl of his sword. I think from what you can tell, he's waiting for his opportune moment.
Mm-hmm.
And
Ebron's hovering, about to throw, and then he sees Valari. Never mind.
he just goes, oh, mine.
It's just kind of like all of a sudden.
Yeah, it fizzles out. And as it's Ari's turn, a couple small balls of lightning come in as they've seen that the large one did so much damage, and they knock a few little diamonds off. You see that the dragon is still getting attacked by some of the other magical people around. You've seen a bunch of arrows come in and kind of bounce off as the guards don't seem to want to get close to something that is this crazy and powerful. It is now your turn.
Good job, guards.
Well, all I have is my throwing axe.
They're here for people. They're not here for diamond dragons.
I'm gonna take another chuck with my throwing axe.
I'm here for the
Alright.
Diamond Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
That
You
one's not gonna
collecting
do so
that.
good.
Valari doesn't attack next turn. She just starts picking up diamonds.
Yeah,
Placing
that,
them on herself.
11 doesn't hit.
11. It bounces off
you have
of
2 axes?
the chest of the dragon and drops right at its feet.
Okay, I do have a second one on my other leg. Can I, with my second action, grab
Because
that
you do 2 actions? Sure.
and chuck it?
Because
Two
because it
attacks.
is
I
a,
can do 2
a
attack.
quick throw,
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
That's not a d20
Nope.
yet. That one would
Makes
not.
sense you practice throwing axes, yes.
I did practice throwing axes. It was
Grab
pretty
it by
sweet.
both hands, remember? Okay.
That'll be a soft 20.
A soft 20 hits.
Cool.
Should we kill them all, Tink? Is that what we should do?
I don't want to do that. 12 points of damage.
12 points of damage.
Wait. Yes.
So you
Fine.
do hurl,
Even.
and it hits blade side on the chest piece that you're aiming for, and it ricochets back just a little bit and lands about 10 feet from you this time, as now you know what you're aiming for, and it does get a little chunk knocked off.
Great. Can I grab
shoot.
that?
If you have move.
I haven't moved yet, so I do still have movement.
Okay, yeah, you can grab it.
I'm gonna grab it and go back.
That I didn't take his collar off.
Oh, yeah.
And you're gonna hold that rule because you
Mhm.
hate me and I did
I
120
don't hate you.
points of
No, I
damage.
don't
He doesn't
hate
hate you. He just
He
plays
let
by the
you get
rules.
I play by the rules.
But I already.
Probably would have been an action to take it
I
off.
already
The puppy
I
teeth
know.
probably won't do
An
much
action
against
or
Garth?
a movement?
No, it probably would have been an action. I am going to cast, not having any lightning spells of my own,
Mhm.
I am going to try the psychic route by casting Mind Spike at 3rd level
Ooh.
on this creature, and that way if it goes back into human form and tries to run away, I will know where it goes.
All right. Mind Spike is a Constitution save.
It is a wisdom
Oh,
save.
Wisdom save. All right.
Hope it's not a wise dragon.
11.
Nope. You will now take 4d8s worth of damage.
Woo!
Dang.
Because I went with her level. Okay. So that is, let's see, that's an 8 on that dice. That's a 7 on that dice for 15. Plus a 6 is 21. Plus 2 is 23 points.
23 points of damage.
Psychic damage. And now I get to track them. And, once again, I'm a divination wizard. That was a divination spell. I get to now recover a slot of a lower spell.
Alrighty.
I love playing a wizard. I love playing a wizard. At this point, I almost can't run out.
at this point, it is Astro's turn, and he wiggles uncontrollably and glows blue, and he launches himself what seems like into the center of the dragon and gnaws on one of the smaller diamonds he can get his little mouth around. And let's see here.
That might have been a reproductive organ.
He gets hold of it, and then he safely teleports out back next to you. And as he teleports out, he's got a diamond in his mouth that turns into a glittery dust. And you see the dragon kind of shifts a little bit, and one of its legs just kind of goes weak, the front right leg.
Ooh, went for the nerve endings. That's fine. That's good. That's smart.
Yeah, he just grabbed something.
And so it takes only a couple points of damage, but he's weakened it. And now, Valaria, it's your turn.
Since it worked so well the first time, and I have this spell slot, I'm gonna cast Chromatic Orb.
Chromatic Orb.
Yeah, sure, I'll do it at level 3.
Tinkerbell, I think they're gonna kill your dragon.
Hang on a second.
Do you have any of your magical abilities, such as meta magic, that could help you in any way?
Hang on.
That sounds like
No.
metagaming is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Well,
Think of Witch Doctor.
That's kind of what meta magic is.
Oh, sorry for
I'm
the computer troubles.
Oh no!
Going to, because this isn't gonna hit.
yourself
It's
together.
a 13. I'm gonna use my meta magic to quicken the spell.
Meaning?
To use quickened, meaning I can cast as a bonus action, so I can do it again.
You can cast a cantrip as your main.
If a
So-
spell has a casting time of 1 action, I can cast it as a bonus action.
But
So
you
I
still just
spell
can't. You can't cast 2 regular spells in one
yeah,
turn.
you
That's
can
why.
cast a cantrip additionally. As
Why would I say that?
It's just like a general magic rule.
yeah, so you can cast a cantrip and then a bonus action spell, but you can't cast 2 regular spells, whether or not it's bonus
But
action
you
or
told me
not.
I can't use my Benwick on myself.
As far as I understand that to be, no.
But the quicken then means that you could still cast a cantrip now.
Firebolt
Yeah, that's pretty much the only one that I'm really doing.
Do it.
Sorry, I found the page.
It's alright. I'm distracting the dog from chewing on her toes.
Stop chewing off
But they're
your
so
feet.
tasty.
You probably
So
It was
gone.
Gulp. The dog now has a D10 within her stomach.
Looks like it.
Rolling for firebolt.
I'm gonna guess I'm doing Firebolt.
Firebolt. Alright.
Here it comes.
It is a 19.
That hits.
So it's just 1d10.
1d10.
Everything feels lame now.
After
After I did 120
points.
points of damage.
I'm rolling
Satisfies?
1d10. I'm like, this is kind of stupid.
You did pretty well
It's
with
an
it.
8.
An 8. There you go. You still got 8 points of damage when you could have gotten 0. The firebolt hits, but you see the crackle of energy sear past as you just launch 2 things, hoping to do as much damage as you can. As the firebolt hits, it does kind of sear on the edges of a couple of the diamonds, and you see some more blackened diamonds floating amongst this dragon.
So cool.
Coal.
They're reverting.
No, it's reverting.
Back
Lord
into
Draklin.
the charcoal state.
I'm
yes,
gonna
of course.
attack it twice. I'll move back. I'll apply back up 15 feet to be about 60 feet away,
Alright.
and then attack it twice. First one's gonna be a 15.
Yes.
Oh, 16. Sorry.
16. Miss.
Okay. Second one's gonna be a soft 20.
Soft 20 hits.
Okay. And the damage is that's a 10. It's gonna be 12 damage.
12 damage. As you fire this shot in, it hits one of the smaller blackened diamonds, and that diamond shatters, and unlike some of the others where it went into a dust, it kind of sprayed out in a red mist. The diamonds collapse in on themselves and twirl into a form of a human. It's the same big burly man you saw before. He is clothed.
Okay.
Man.
But all his clothes were back.
His armor.
The
His
armor
armor
and
and
the
his
cloak.
cloak was back there. He is clothed
Dibs.
in just some light linens, but he's laying there huffing and puffing. He's got scars across him, burn marks, and like stab wounds. And you see that there's a spot across his right arm that looks like a tendon was torn,
Oh.
and he's
Oh,
he's holding back, and he collapses, and you see a huge dragon tattoo as the shirt kind of pulls back a little bit that goes back and around his back. The guards rush in on him, and they've got swords up against him, and you hear shouts of, "Who are you? Where have you come from?" And then others, "Is there any more like you? Who should be going with this man to the jails?" And like the guards are all confused as there's two groups now rushing in.
Do I see the captain anywhere?
The captain isn't outside. You did recognize that he was up near the mansion earlier.
He not naked.
He not naked. No naked, man. We keep this PG-13.
That's what Penguin was.
His friend.
I was going to look towards the front gates
Mm-hmm.
and see if it had been locked down or if the person may have gotten through.
Towards the front gates, you do see two guardsmen slumped over on either side, both seeming to have been slit at the throat. Blood is dripping down their armor, and
Front
you
gates,
see
is that to exit or to get into where?
the front gates of like exiting back to the street.
Okay.
And you do see, instead of the blue doming that dropped down, almost like a doorway of sorts of that same blue protective manner opened up, as if someone had walked out through them.
Well, the killer got away.
Well, there's nothing we can do about that right now.
Garth! Ebrin!
Oh yeah, Ebrin was
I
here.
look up to see if Ebrin, is he still there?
Ebrin is not there, but you do see a whiz of motion as he notices too that the front gate is open, and he goes flying out the front gate. The orb now missing, but the blade straight out as he's diving through the gate. The gate is about 60, 70 feet from you all.
Well, it's now or never. We catch the killer or not.
Go!
Expeditious retreat.
As you start running towards the front, more guards have noticed the commotion, and a few of them have stacked up at the front door, blocking anyone from going in and out. You see a few faced out and a few faced in, a couple attending to the dead laying at the door, and you are blocked. And
They got to the gate?
yeah, there's guards everywhere in here, man. They weren't all just on.
They were just the two dead guys 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, but they were milling about this
Ebrin
party
got
all
through?
night. Ebrin got through.
Well, I'll still say that.
I had I figured like, I mean, whoever was there, if that was open, he's long gone right now. So I would taken the collar off of Astro.
Astro grows in
Because I'm
size.
sure
The
he's
collar
not used to it.
The collar grows up to a near belt size, not enough that you could put around your waist.
Uh-huh.
It looks
But
like a
maybe
child's.
half my
It looks like a
waist.
child-sized belt.
So I put it in my bag.
Yep,
Tree
you
belt.
can roll it up and put it in your bag.
As I'm doing that, I pull out the half a sausage, and I give it to him and scratch him on the head.
He ends up gulping it down pretty quick and kind of looking around like, "That's it,"
I know,
realizing it was
that's all I
bigger than
have
last
now, but
time.
We'll give you more later. And are they still there?
They who?
Them.
Yeah,
Are we
as
still
soon as I
there?
saw the guards stack up, yeah, I would have stopped running.
Well,
But
you guys, it's been one heck of a day. I just want to go sleep.
Me
I don't think we have that option. We're still locked in, and I shout to the guards,
The killer clearly made it out!
No one seems to be paying attention to a voice. There's commotion throughout. There's
Wish I had thaumaturgy.
the few people that you had met throughout the party are all just kind of clamoring about. One of the older elves that you saw in the back walks up and goes, "Oh, that was quite the show you all put on there. Is this normal for this kind of party?"
My first
No,
time.
but it's apparently normal for us.
Do I see the captain yet?
No, the captain's nowhere to be seen. And it seems like there's a heavy guard on the mansion, and there's a bit of progression to get through the gates, and they're working people through, and they're patting everyone down again just to make sure there's nothing to be found of contraband.
I go grab my axes
Mhm.
and I put them back. Do we get in line or do we just put Linus down here and call it a night?
We don't have Linus.
Oh, darn it.
I thought you had Linus on your back.
No, she put it back in the room, didn't she?
Yeah, we had to
Oh,
put him
you
in
put it in the room?
room.
Okay.
Because you didn't want me bringing my pack.
I guess we hop in line.
Or we go to the front of the line because we just did this, so.
A couple guards, one from each side of the city, rush up to you, and a couple more join. And so now you have an escort of 3 or 4 guards mixed from both sides of the city. Let's expedite you lot out, and a few more cards handed to each of you.
Exactly what I was thinking.
A few more cards handed to each of you with the markings of the upper and lower city. Make sure to visit our offices. Let us know, or let them know that we're the ones to assist in this. And they seem to be really trying to get a number or a ranking or something from that. But they do push through the crowd, and you see one of the bigger, gruffer men kind of push a few very well-dressed people out of the way. "We've got VIPs coming through!" And he's actually applying force, not asking people to move. And then another smacks him up on the back of the head. "Use your words, son!" And he goes, "We've got VIPs, please step aside." "Step aside!" And he just uses a lot of force, and people back away. You're each patted down. The dog is looked at briefly, and
His collar's right here.
you realize it's the same guard, and he waves you through. And
Goes
he
really quick, goes like this, and is like, "Oh, the flight!" And casts Mage Hand and picks up his hat off the ground. And
There you go.
delivers it back on top.
The same guard that notices the belt and had sent you earlier to get it, he goes, "Quite a trick that little boy has there. His father is a loony mage who lost an arm. I guess it runs in the family. They make crazy things."
Yeah.
Where
Not
where
that
do they
crazy.
make where do they make these things?
There's a little cottage over by the lake outside of the city.
Things I want to look at. Cottage by the lake.
Also, the store.
I know, sir.
Couldn't happen.
I know.
Later.
Shopping.
We'll do a shopping trip later. I
It-
want to sleep.
As you cross into the main center of the city, you do see a clock up on a wall saying it is 12:30. This has been a busy, crazy evening
It's
for
been
you.
a long day.
A few mage hands are floating outside, holding damp towels, small mints, various other things to.
Toothpicks?
They're warm towels.
I take one and wipe my face.
Yeah.
They're made
I
just.
dropped one on the dog's
They're
head.
made just for that. As everyone's leaving, it seems like a hasty accommodation. The inns are packing up tight,
We already have rooms though.
and you all have rooms, which is lucky because there's a few people turned away, and you see a few even nice dressed nobles knocking on doors, and you hear murmurs between, and handfuls of gold exchanged at the door
do you
to
think we can make
find
our
a
room?
home for the evening.
We could give them our room, we take the blanket.
That's true. I was actually kind of thinking that myself. Better privacy, more quiet.
In the inn's packed, and there's a few people ordering the heaviest drink, and you see a couple tiefling that you met earlier being escorted down to the lower,
The two guys with the gold horns?
and the bartender is giving him a thumbs up, and you can see that he's kind of doing the same spiel he gave you guys earlier about the best drink in town. But yeah, the two guys with the gold horns and a couple, it seems that a few were guards with. One still very green for a tiefling, trying not to hurl as he's heading downstairs. You hear shouts at the bar. I need an inn. I need a room. I need something.
Is this Steve?
No, it's various shouts, and people are holding
Chad
gold
would
up.
like to know where Steve and Jessica ended up.
They're probably like finding
They're
a
in the crowd
trashy
somewhere.
bar somewhere to round the night out. You know.
They're
You
cutting
all
open
have
a
one of
portal
those.
hole.
They're trying to pay for things with plastic and Apple Pay, and they're like,
They're
Jessica doesn't
snapping
have
people.
Apple Pay access at the moment.
right.
But yeah, they are doing that, and they're pulling out these weird clothy green marks that they're trying to pass off as money. Who knows?
So silly.
What? No.
Paper.
So.
But there's a lot of shouts about needing rooms and people offering higher and higher bids. I'll give 1,000 gold for a room.
Take it.
Done.
And a man turns and looks and goes, "Are you from the inn?"
I have a room. I'm gonna give it to him for the night.
All right, I'll round up my guard. And he snaps his fingers, and 2 men come up to him. Where's the room?
Where's the money?
He tosses a bag over to you, and it's hefty. It has 1,023 gold in it.
Okay.
Nice.
And I say okay, and I have them follow me, and I grab all of our stuff out of my room because I don't know if all of our stuff is in my room, but a lot of the stuff, especially Linus. I grab
Linus and a few other things.
Yeah. I grab our stuff and I take it out and I hand him the key. There you go.
The 3 men enter the room and slam the door. And
Whatever.
You're all
1,000
in
gold
the
for
hall.
a room? Anybody? Okay.
Wait, do you have a room too?
We all have rooms.
Oh yeah, right.
Except I don't know if he does. We just met
He
him,
did.
but I just sold
He did.
mine.
Drakeland had a room, I think, in the lower, if I recall.
Yeah, we're in the lower.
We're in the lower.
Oh, sorry. Then he was in the opposite side, so he had one in the
He's in
upper.
the upper.
And you guys had lower. As you're still making your way through the bar, a 500 gold gets tossed out for a room, and a 350, and a few other numbers. Do you want to do an exchange, or are you good with keeping a room? There's currently 3 of 4 of you.
We can lock the door. I'll give mine up for 500. We can put Linus in yours, and I'll share it.
I like that idea.
Whatever.
500. Follow me.
You get a bag of 512 gold pieces.
Great.
And the young woman and one of her guardsmen go up, and the young woman enters. The guardsman shuts the door carefully and stands watch outside the room. She was dressed very, very beautifully with an ornate diamond crown. So one would expect a guard to stand outside the room at all points.
Yep.
You see the same, a few random exchanges of more common folk swapping out and guards either entering or standing outside. And this is now turned into almost a lockdown of VIPs for the evening.
Oh, Draklin, do you care to?
I'll saunter into my room.
You'll saunter into your room.
As the VIPs saunter into their rooms.
See you in the morning.
As you saunter into your room, you do find that there is a sweet treat left on the end table for you.
Fantastic.
A steaming warm brew, very reminiscent of those you would drink at home. The time you've spent here in town, you've had good rapport with the inn. That they left a note that said, "Welcome home for the night." So you all set up Linus in
My room.
your room. Who throws Linus?
I did, because I had it.
You
She
did?
wanted to see what
I
it
would
looked
Right.
like. I shared it.
Yeah, we're passing it around.
So you toss Linus, and it flops out and sets up almost like it inflates. And as you go to reach for the door is opened by 2 little pillow goblins, and they sit there and beckon you in as your hosts, and you peek into the room. And as you peek in, you notice that in one stretch there's a darker alleyway-esque with, on the sides of the alley, small little sellers, all pillow goblins, all selling pillow treats. But it does seem fairly reminiscent to what you made home in the streets. But on other side, there's a more like castle-esque structure. In the castle-esque structure, it's made more of pillars than like full walls. You see a handful of ornate beds, a goblin standing at the end of each, pillow goblin, of course, holding a platter with a hot cocoa and treats each there. And then in the middle of all of this, there's a giant tree made again of pillows. And
Pillow tree.
walking past that, you see a couple small ant-like tree creatures.
Too many memories in one.
And it's just every time you've opened Linus, it's grown and morphed and changed, and it has so much life to it now, and it holds, I guess, memories of everyone who's touched it and thrown it.
I change out of my stuffy dress, as beautiful
Stuffy
as it is.
dress.
Put on my comfy clothes, and faceplant on one of the nice
There
Comfy
you go.
clothes being your armor?
Yeah.
Basically. Each of your packs that you'd left
My
with
under-
or
armor.
around, if you stuffed anything in Linus, is actually
We
still
did stuff
there.
a lot of stuff in there.
A few of it looks a little bit compressed, like you might have hit the upper limits of what Linus can hold, but the pillow goblins have done well to set it at the end of each bed.
Alright then.
Drackland is most likely passed out or reading a book at this point. You guys have just been in awe of this new little pillow fort.
And sleep.
Yeah, I think.
Astro comes in too, right?
Oh, Astro comes in. There's a little puppy bed made just for him.
Oh.
And the pillow goblin servicing his bed has a bowl of sparkling water and a
Fancy
bunch
stuff.
of little dried meats.
Kibble.
Dried meats, it's not even kibble, it's like jerkies and things.
Oh, she loves
Even better.
Anything you would like to declare now, or do you want to say sleep time? We'll declare things offline before your next time out.
Sleep.
We'll see.
Perfect.
I guess.
Sleep time, we'll declare things offline. We will alert everyone next time we start if there's anything they should know. It's going to be a long rest, and we will come back to the story March 14th. Now, oddly enough, February is a 5-week month.
Dun, dun,
Happy
dun.
leap year.
We haven't solidified anything, but we may have a fun one-shot. It will not be part of the main storyline, as we've already planned the main storyline to continue on March 14th, but keep an eye out on social. If we do have a one-shot, there will be a smattering of players and DM here. We're not sure who, how many.
Maybe more DMs than players.
Maybe it'll be 4 DMs and 1 player, and it'll be 4 stories the
What
player
if it
has
was
to
all
go
the
through.
DMs here?
On the couch we'd have to, yeah.
One player.
And it will be like a mental torment, where it's
Mhm.
like a waking nightmare type play.
But the DMs have to speak one word at a time.
I'm out.
I'm out.
I'm out. Awesome. Thank you everyone for tuning in to Here Be Dragons. We wrapped
that
up
was fun.
our February edition here, our post-Valentine's edition, and we will definitely see you March 14th. We hope that you follow us on social. Join us in our Discord. There's a lot of fun. You can come chat. If you've done any subscriptions, you can join a subscription-only channel automatically by linking your Discord and Twitch.
Mug Club.
The Mug Club will show up for you. There's quizzes, there's chats, there's more things. You get direct access to our cast and crew. I know our community's small right now, but when the community grows, that inner circle is even more precious to have. But do join, do have fun, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye!